Good afternoon. We are just about to start this session. We are waiting. We can wait for 1 or 2 minutes for other participants also to join. If you have any queries, if my voice is not audible, please ping in the chat section. If you have any other doubts, if you want to personally speak in this room, you can click on the speak icon on the right side. You will get the chance to speak, physically speak. In a virtual meeting, you can physically speak in that sense. But for any queries, please click on the chat icon. Great to know that the voice is audible. Okay, great. I think some of the aspirants have joined. We shall right away start the session. Okay, let me first introduce myself. My name is Alex. I'm the founder and director of ClearEyes, and I have authored two books regarding to UPSC preparation. Those books are Important Judgments That Transformed India and Important Acts That Transformed India. Myself, a teacher, trainer, and mentor with regarding to UPSC aspirants. And as you might know, ClearEyes is one of the most popular websites with regarding to UPSC preparation and is used by more than 1 million aspirants every month. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for being the paid subscribers of ClearEyes Test Series 2020. And I know you'll be taking the exam after 1 week, exactly after 1 week. Next Sunday, you'll be taking the exam. So we have exactly 1 week before next prelims. And in this session, I will be helping you with certain techniques which will be extremely useful in the UPSC Civil Services examination. And I call that intelligent elimination techniques. We will not be discussing just intelligent elimination techniques, but we will be covering many other techniques, tips and strategies, what to do and what not to do in the next 7-8 days, and also in the examination hall, what to do and what not to do in the examination hall. So that's all for today in short. If anything which I am telling in this session, if that is not clear to you, or if you want to ask any questions, as I told, please feel to ask. As it is a long session, it's about a 3-hour session, in the sense that we'll be dealing with about 20 techniques in this session. So it takes time to discuss all of those with examples. I will be explaining the techniques with the help of previous year UPSC questions. So that takes some time. So please bear with me all the time. I hope that will be helpful to you. And along with the techniques, I will be discussing certain other important aspects as well. So hopeful. So I will be moving to the next slide. These are the two books I authored, which I just told before. And this is the agenda for today's session. We'll be mostly concentrating on the smart thinking to score high in the UPSC Civil Services examination. We all know working hard is good, but along with working hard, sometimes you need to work smart as well. So this session is all about working smart. We will discuss whether you should make random guesses in UPSC Civil Services examination and how the negative marking affects your total score, and what are the elimination techniques. Some of you might call it MCQ hacks, some of you might call it intelligent guessing or elimination tricks, whatever it is. We'll see as some totally new techniques and tricks probably you might otherwise don't know, and what to do in the examination hall. And we'll see what is the 3-2-1-0 method of question paper solving and last minute preparation tips and strategies. And we'll also see some most probable questions and probable areas where you need to concentrate on the last particular week. The question is this video being recorded? No, this video is not being recorded as of now. Probably the only way you can see it is through the live session. That's why we are this is the first time Probably ClearEyes has conducted a lot of webinars before. We had conducted webinars with many prominent authors. But this is first time probably I am coming in a webinar like this. We had conducted many. I had personally conducted many seminars, but webinars is something which we are trying now, and this is limited to only a very close set of audience, that is ClearEyes Prelims Test Series subscribers. So we are not giving this in open, and this is not being recorded. So please watch the entire 3 hours at a stretch. And to begin with, probably you might have heard this before. Sorry, is someone facing network issues? Please make sure that you have a high-speed internet connection and try to connect again. You can connect using the reconnect option. I will get back to this. And I have mentioned many times in ClearEyes also, ClearEyes is not just about knowledge. It's not also about exam skills. To clear IAS exam, you just not need knowledge, but you also need some exam skills. I would say that success in CSE is 50% knowledge and 50% exam skills. And we'll see the difference between a teacher and trainer first, so that you will understand the difference between knowledge and the skills. Usually you might have come across many teachers. Normally they will be teaching subjects like history, geography. Even I am also a teacher. And when I am a teacher, I normally teach subjects like polity, economics, ethics, or something like that. But when I'm a trainer, I will help you with the exam skills, like how to face the exam, how to write answers, how to write good answers, how to adjust with the time factor, how to face the negative marking, how to solve questions. These are the things which normally a trainer helps you with. So basically, try to first understand the difference between these terms, so that it will help you in the upcoming slides. Okay, so regarding future webinars, we will discuss that, but let me go through the next slide. I will in between answer some of the questions typed in the chat also, so that it will not be a monotonous session. But I will mostly concentrate what is in this slide. But at times, if I find something relevant in the chat section, I will definitely answer that as well in between. This is what I told in detail in the first slide, and this is the difference between a teacher and a trainer. And teacher is someone who normally builds knowledge, and the teacher normally helps you to find the right answer of a question directly. And that's how you are used to it, right? When you answer an exam, when you face some questions, the first tendency is to find the right answer. That is a normal way of doing it. We are used to that as well. But in this particular session, you will think in a reverse direction. That is, if you're not able to find the right answer, you will try to eliminate the wrong options, and then you will see what is the correct answer. That is something a trainer can help. That is something like we'll try to build the exam skills. So I'm assuming that you are not beginners, because you have prepared the whole 1 year for this exam. So if you are a beginner, what you don't need to focus something like the intelligent elimination techniques. This is something you have to focus after building some basic knowledge. So if you're a beginner, you should focus on building your fundamentals. But after building the fundamentals, if exams are near, you should definitely give some element of effort to this particular area, the smart thinking kind of niche area. So that will help. That will help you increase the prelims marks up to 130, 140, like that. And these techniques which we discussed today is completely based on common sense, logic, and the trends in previous year question papers. And in an exam, in a civil exam like civil services examination, where the competition is very severe, and even the decimal marks also matters. I don't want you to lose 1 year because of any mistakes committed in the exam, or you could have just concentrated on a few areas. You could have easily scored much marks. So this is something like in an exam where the difference is even in decimal marks, cause aspirants lose an year. By closely following what we discuss in this session, you may be able to add 40 or 50 marks by smartness, intelligent guesses, and lateral thinking. That is the session all about. And if any of you is skeptical whether this technique works or all, I can assure that this will work. And this had worked well in the past. Almost all previous years, including 2019, last year also, this had immense application in all the previous year prelims examinations. And this is also very high. If you invest on this will give you very high return on investment. The return on investment on this particular area is very high, just like Clear Eyes Prelims series, and that will give the extra edge you badly need to clear the exam. I would like to stress a few. I stress in this particular thing because UPSC Civil Services examination involves very high competition, and since it involves very high competition, your focus should be to somehow be better than the competition, somehow to be better than others. So how can you be a little better than others? Be in case of prelims or be in case of mains. Mains, you need to make sure that your answer stands out from others. In prelims, you should know that you should be able to answer 5 or 10 questions extra than normally what others do. So you have to concentrate in some other areas where other aspirants are not concentrating. What others are not studying, what others are not practicing. So that's why we are keeping even the Clear Eyes Prelims test series is also provided only to a closed group. We don't provide PDFs. We don't provide the solutions on solutions in printed format. You won't see Clear Eyes test series anywhere else in Delhi market. Nowhere it's only for a closed group, so that it remains only with you, and that will give you the extra edge, which will help you in clearing prelims. So if everything is available everywhere, you won't get that extra edge in a competitive exam. If it is not a competitive exam, it does not matter. But if it is a competitive exam, what matters is you should have some extra knowledge and extra skills. Okay, we'll move to the next slides. And before going to the slides, actually, the slides are just coming up. The techniques are just coming up. Please be patient and here listen to me. I have personally invested a lot of time on intelligent elimination techniques when I was an aspirant and when I was a trainer and a mentor. I have personally invested a lot of time on intelligent elimination techniques, and I have found that I have mentioned in the website also, there are more than 40 intelligent elimination techniques, which I have personally found out based on my research. 45 techniques I personally have documented, but and out of that, around 10 techniques we have already discussed on cleareyes.com. You can go there. It's really available. It's available in the public domain. 10 techniques with examples. I put it on Clear Eyes website. It was written at least 3 or 4 days back. But in this webinar, we will be discussing 20 IETs, 20 intelligent elimination techniques we will be discussing, which includes some techniques which is already mentioned in the website and some techniques which are an additional. But again, as I told, there are around 40 techniques, and there are still 20-25 techniques extra, which I won't be able to cover in this session, because even covering 20 techniques, it will take time, around 3 hours it will take. So 40 techniques not possible, and I am not thinking of giving it free in this particular session as well. So we'll take that extra IETs in another session. So this session is dealing with only with the 20 techniques, which will help you in clearing prelims. This will be additional to what is provided in the website itself. And the chance of what is the scope of this webinar is that there are chances. I will say it's a probability that you will get around 20 to 25 questions extra correct. It can vary year on a year, but based on previous year trends, I have seen that around 20-25 questions you can answer based on intelligent eliminations. And if you get 25 questions correct, that means for every question it is actually 2 marks, right? So 25 questions, if you are able to get correct, that means you will be getting additional 50 marks extra. So a score of 80 can become 130. But that doesn't mean you can answer every question from IETs. No, you can. The maximum number is something around 20-25. But for the 75 questions, you need to have core knowledge. But this is something which is applicable to a few sets of questions. Okay, and a paid course on IETs is also on the plan. This is a free session, and this is free only for Clear Eyes Prelims series subscribers. But a paid thing is something in plan. We'll be releasing the details of that soon. And before going into the session details, I would like to explicitly state a disclaimer that there are a few terms and conditions associated with attending this webinar. And the disclaimer one is that there is no guarantee from the side of Clear Eyes that the IETs will always work. Use these techniques only on questions where you are otherwise not able to solve by traditional knowledge. Then the second disclaimer is that the test these techniques with previous year UPSC questions and see if the IETs work for you. So this is something that I cannot guarantee that this will work always. It works in 90% of the cases, like on the kind of questions which we discuss. But that doesn't mean that it will work 100% times. There are still times it may not work. So keep that also in your mind. And before experimenting these techniques in your actual exam, go to Clear Eyes mock exam platform. You get previous year UPSC question papers there. You can practice based on these IETs and see if that actually works. That actually works in with respect to previous year question papers. See yourself and test it yourself, and then only experiment with this in the actual UPSC prelims. Okay. Okay, this is let's slowly go into the IETs. Before going into the IETs, let's first understand the kind of questions in UPSC prelims. You already know this. There are different kinds of questions, but broadly we can divide all those questions into 4 areas. 4 areas in the sense that questions which question comes and directly you have to answer. Those kind of questions can come. Like questions come and there are 4 choices A, B, C, D, and there are questions like that. And also there are questions like questions with multiple statements. UPSC is known for that, right? Like there are questions with multiple statements. There are questions with 2 statements. There are questions with 3 statements. There are questions with 4 or more kind of statements. But the 50% of questions are with having no statements at all, a direct question and answer, and the other 50% is something with statement-based questions. And IETs has more applications with respect to the statement-based questions. It also has applications with other kind of questions, but it's more relevant with statement-based questions. And you may think that the statement-based questions are difficult to answer, but it's actually the reverse. The statement-based questions are actually much more easier to answer. It may take time to read the 3 or 4 statements, but in fact, if you apply IETs, those statements are actually the ones which are very easy to answer. Amit asks, is there a mechanism to identify? Okay, the streaming is patchy, not very clear. Sorry for that. Probably from my end, the signal is very clear. It might be an issue within the network there. You can try reconnecting that. If you're still facing issues, you can try reconnecting that. We'll go to the next slide and see. You can always connect me back. And this is another thing which I want to tell you. Most of the questions in UPSC prelims are true or false type. Okay, some of you are mentioning that it's clear there. Probably it's a network issues in a few areas. And most of the UPSC questions, particularly the statement-based ones, are actually true or false type. This is something which you need to understand. We might think UPSC, because it's a very tough exam, a prestigious exam which involves the selection of IAS and IPS officers. You might think the question will be something very high standard kind of thing, but in actual sense, if you break it down into the most simplest sense, most of the UPSC prelims questions are actually true or false types. And you just need to be conceptually clear. Your understanding should be perfect, then you can easily answer those kind of questions. And UPSC checks the understanding of candidates using multiple statements in a single question. And all you need to do is to find the correct statements. So this is what I was mentioning. UPSC CS is very simple as a true or false exam. All you need to do is the right things about the right things. Also, sometimes in certain questions, it will be a combination of match the following along with true or false. But it's something like what you did in 5th standard or 6th standard. You might have come across true or false statements. This is the same thing is happening in the UPSC also. The same thing is asked in UPSC. Questions will be something like this. Which of the following statements is or are correct? So that's just a true or false kind of questions. So UPSC is exactly like that. On all you need to clear this exam is smart thinking, and that's this session is all about. And in UPSC prelims, make sure that you go with a black color ballpoint pen, and you need a black color ballpoint pen to bubble the OMR sheet, not pencil. Okay, I think we have around 140 slides. That's why this session is 3 hours. I will quickly go through the initial slides so that you will get a basic understanding about the statistics parts, the negative marking, those kind of things. That will be finished shortly. Then we'll move through the 20 IETs. Then we move through the other exam hall strategies and preparation tips for the next 7 days. Statistics and smart thinking. It makes a lot of sense to talk about some techniques. For what I'm explaining this session is the techniques which has some it is based on statistics to improve your odds in answering multiple choice questions. Also understand this, the right answer in prelims is very easy. UPSC prelims compared to mains is something like a fill in the blanks type. So you are asked a question in the question booklet and there is blank space left out. You have to write answers for that. But prelims is very different from UPSC mains in the sense that the right answer is printed in the question paper itself. All you need to do is to find the right answer from among the 4 options for each question. So that makes prelims pretty easy. Like clearing prelims is not that difficult. The only skill you need is to pick the right answer among the 4 choices given for each question. And again, I'm just giving a warning that don't think knowledge is not important. I am not oversimplifying things. I'm just stating the facts. Don't think that knowledge is not important. Knowledge is very important. And many of the elimination techniques which we will discuss is based on the pre-existing knowledge base. Many of those are based on pre-existing knowledge base, and some are not based on that, but most of them are based on pre-existing knowledge base. And these tips do not mean that you don't need to study. You still need to study. And as I told, it may not be useful for all 100 questions. It may be useful for 20-25 questions. And if you already know the right answer for any question, there is no need to apply intelligent elimination techniques because you already know the answer. So directly answer the question, directly answer in the OMR sheet. And if only those questions you are otherwise not able to solve, only those kind of questions apply IETs. Okay. More if somebody wants to speak in between, if I want to ask some questions, probably in between I will give some time so that it won't go like a monotonous lecture. You can come in between and you can also speak. I will give chances to a few selected participants. We'll see some statistics. Okay. The question is whether you should attempt all questions in UPSC prelims or whether you should leave certain questions. Okay. If you leave a question unattempted in UPSC prelims, then you had no chance of getting the question right. Everyone knows that, right? So, but there are negative marking for every question. Can someone ping the negative marks in UPSC? Go to the chat window and ping how much will you get for a correct answer in UPSC paper 1? And what is the negative marking in paper 1, general studies paper 1? Can someone ping in the chat window? How much will you get if you make a question correct in UPSC paper 1? The negative marking is 0.66. Okay, what is the correct mark? Chetan got it right. Okay, what is the correct mark? What if you get a correct? Yes, 2 for correct and 0.66 for wrong answers. It will correct. And what is the case for CSAT? How much is for CSAT? Well, how much will you get for a correct answer in case of CSAT? Second paper, general studies paper 2. In general studies paper 2, it's not the same. In general studies paper 2, for every correct answer, you will get 2.5 marks. And correct. Pulkit got it correct. For every correct answer, you will get 2.5, and for every negative answer, it will 0.833 will be deducted. That is the case of general studies paper 2. So the marking is slightly different, but altogether it will be like 1/3 of the marks will be deducted for negative marking based on the marks awarded to each questions. Exactly correct. Okay, let's get back to this. Let's get back to the slides. And the question is whether you should leave questions in UPSC CSE. Be it general studies paper 1 or general studies paper 2, which we call CSAT. Altogether, we can say that there is 25% of every question being correct, because there are four options, right? A, B, C, and D. So there are four options, and either one of that will be definitely the correct answer. So the chance of getting a question correct is 25%. So every question has at least 25% chance of being correct. That is the bare minimum. You have 25%. If you don't know the answer, but you still attempt, you will get 25%. There is 25% chance of being that question that as being correct, right? But the case is that if you use intelligent elimination techniques, the probability of arriving at the right answer increases tremendously. That is the case. That is the scope of intelligent elimination techniques. Normally, it is 25% chance of being the answer correct. But if you use IETs, the probability will increase tremendously. This slide is very important. This is part of the statistics part, but this please memorize this slide. Slide is very important. The chance of being correct. Okay. If you can't, there are four answer choices, and if you can't eliminate any of the choices, there is 25% chance of any of the choice. There is a 25% chance for that question to be correctly answered by you. But if you can eliminate just one answer choice, there is 33% chance of making that question correct. And if you can eliminate two answer choices, you have to then there will be only two other choices left, right? So your probability of getting that question correct will increase further. There is 50% chance of getting that question correct right by you. And if you can eliminate the three wrong options, there is only one option left, which is obviously the correct answer. So the chance of being that kind of questions correct is 100%. So normally it is 25, then it will increase. If you eliminate one option, it will automatically increase to 33%. If you eliminate two options, it will increase to 50%. And if you eliminate three options, the chance of the question being correct is 100. So your aim in UPSC prelims is to increase the probability of getting questions correct from 25%, at least eliminate one option and make it 33%, then go and answer the question. Exactly like that. The bare minimum is 25. So you at least make sure that you eliminate at least one of the options using the technique and increase the chance of getting question correct. So the next question is that should you do random guess of 100 answers? There are 100 questions in General Studies Paper 1 prelims. So whether you should do random guess of 100 answers. What is meant by random guessing? Random guessing is something like marking the answer sheet without any application of knowledge or intelligence or anything like that, but just you are randomly marking the OMR sheet. Take the OMR sheet, mark the first question as A, the second question as B, the third question as A, the fourth question as B, A, B, like that. If you go on marking like that, that is something like I call as a random marking or random guessing. You are just guessing. There is no intelligence involved, but you are just guessing. If you adopt random guessing, I won't encourage random guessing. Don't do random guessing in UPSC prelims. If you do random guessing, you will end up getting 0 or negative marks. The focus of this webinar is also not to encourage you to random guessing, not at all. I won't encourage random guessing, and the focus of this webinar is actually smart and intelligent guessing, not random guessing. Okay. So first, now we are not. I have clarified about the random guessing part. Now leave that random guessing part and I'll try something else. What about marking all answer choices as C or B? Many aspirants do that. For those questions they are not sure of the answer, they will tend to mark all questions as C or B or something like that. That is not random guessing. That is called pattern guessing. That is because that has a particular pattern, right? Every question you will mention one particular option. That is called a particular pattern. This is called pattern marking. It's not guessing actually. You are just marking it as C or B or something like that. So which is better, the random guessing or pattern marking? I will show you what is the if you mark every question as C, this is something like a pattern, right? Every question you are marking C, this is a pattern. Does this has higher chance of being right than a random guess? Let's analyze previous year UPC questions and see whether this will work or not. Okay. Let's say if you're marking every question as C, and whether that will help you in actual UPC prelims or not. The case is that I have told that if the chance of getting every question correct in UPC prelims is 25%. But actually, in real UPC, the probability is not exactly 25%. That is because the paper is not truly random. If only if the paper is truly random, you can the probability is actually 25, but the paper is not perfectly balanced or truly random. So the reality is actually slightly different. Consider the case of last year, 2019. I have analyzed the UPC prelims key. What I have found is something this is very, very peculiar. You might have noticed this. You should have noticed this. This is what I have observed. The number of A choices in the answer key was 29, B was 24, C was 21, and D is 26. This is very surprising. Surprising that normally what we expect, we will expect that every answer choices will be something like 25, 25, 25, 25. 100 questions are there. So the weightage of every answer choice will be something something almost equal, like 25. But the A answer choice had a very high weightage in case of UPSC prelims key last year. It had 29 answers had the answer as A. But that is not the trend with every paper. This is just for 2019 paper 1. Is the case? Do you think that the case is similar with paper 2? No. The paper 2 trend is very different. In paper 2, this is how it happened. Paper 2 had 80 questions. So what is the normal expectation? It will be something like 20, 20, 20, 20. But in case of paper 2, it was something like the number of questions with A as the right answer was very less. Instead of 20, it was only 10, and B was 30, and C is 18, and D is 22. But look at these two slides and see that what I have marked in yellow is that if you had marked A as a pattern marking, A had higher chances of being right because the probability is much more than 25%. It is actually 29%, and B also 26%. And in case of CSAT, normally the normal weightage is what we expect is 20 questions, but B had very high weightage in case of CSAT. So, and D also 22, but B is much higher than normally we expect. So, if you just marked all questions as B, you would have ended up in a positive marks in case of CSAT. Okay, great. Many are understanding this concept. I am happy to know that. So, but that is just case of 1 year, so that you don't think that in case of 2019, that's how the highest probability was with A. So don't think that you will go in 2020 and mark all questions as A. All those questions which you are unsure, don't go and mark all questions as A, because that was the case of only 2019. The case I for the sake of understanding, I took another year, and that era was 2016, 3 years back. What was the case then? That case then was totally different. A had only 18 questions then, and B had very high probability, 29 questions had B as answer. C had 28 questions, and D was 25 questions. Surya, no, you missed certain aspects, but that's okay. You can carry on. It's okay. The IETs are just coming. We are just discussing the statistics first, so that you will understand IETs better. This is the case of 2016 official key. A was 17, and B 27, and C 15, and D 21. For the sake of analysis, let's see a few more years, and this is a few more years back in 2011. This is the trend in 2011. In 2012, this was the trend in 2012. All years you can see the difference. That there is nothing like one option is always getting a higher probability. There is no favoritism for UPSC for a B or C or A or D. It can vary every year, but it's not equally distributed. That's what I am trying to say. It's not equally distributed. one particular option has higher probability every year than the other two options, because the question is not 100% balanced or truly random. The one who sets the question that year might have some preference or some affinity towards a particular option, and he will set it like that. So what I am trying to explain by these two, first we initially discussed about random guessing. Now we have seen pattern marking, and even the pattern marking also won't guarantee a positive score. That's what I wanted to tell. Like, if you are taking a risk and if you're marking like every option as C, there is no guarantee that you will end up with a positive mark. Even that way, that may not always work. Probably that is a better strategy than random guessing, but still this is also not a very perfect strategy. This is because this does not involve logic or intelligence, nothing like that. This is just marking as a pattern. Okay, this session is also not about pattern marking. Also, this is also something different. And we are now about 30 minutes into the session, and now we are starting the 20 IETs. There is no PDF. There is no PDF. There is no recorded session. All you have to do is to listen to this session and understand this. Spend 3 hours. I hope that will be worth your time spent. Intelligent elimination techniques by Clear IAS. CSAT we will discuss in separately towards the end. I will initially concentrate on General Studies paper 1 and application of IETs in General Studies paper 1. So these IETs are based on the trends in previous year questions, the psychology of question setters, as just we discussed, based on the statistics part and experimentation by myself, and the feedback from consistent toppers. So this is something which I had personally taken many seminars in areas around me in some cities. So this had worked very well for many toppers who clear prelims with very high marks. So that's why I'm coming with this webinar, because this has already tested and proven with some aspirants. Probably it might have worked for them. That, as I repeat again, that it has worked for them. That doesn't mean that it will work for you. But let's try. You again have 7 days to experiment. You can try this on previous year question papers and see for yourself. And if you find it helpful for you, please message me, please email me, and know that it will work for you, and see the improvement in your marks. Like, try a few previous year UPSC question papers and connect with me and explain how you feel it. Did you feel any improvement? Did you find even after this webinar also, please let me know your feedback so that I can also improve myself on the next sessions. Please feel to share your feedback. Even in the chat session also, you can share the feedback. If you find it boring or interesting or anything like that, you can directly share the feedback. Okay, let's move to the first IET. The first IET is all about applying common sense. Yes, Surya, you can speak at the end. I will give chances in between or towards the half portion of the webinar or towards the end. We'll give chances for others also to speak. Participants can also speak. Definitely, we'll give opportunities. In between, you can type as chat as chat. You can type. Thank you, Verinder, to know that it's not boring. Okay, IETs, apply common sense. That is the first IET. Just use logic and common sense, and we can eliminate many wrong options and arrive at the correct answer choice. But the thing is that the whole IET is based on common sense. I would say that. But the thing is that common sense is not that common. Common sense is not. We think that common sense is very easy, but it's not that so easy to find. Let's see a question and see. This is a question asked by UPSC in 2018. I will read out the question. Which one of the following reflects the most appropriate relationship between law and liberty? A, if there are more laws, there is less liberty. B, if there are no laws, there is no liberty. C, if there is liberty, laws have to be made by the people. If there is liberty, laws have to be made by people. D, if laws are changed too often, liberty is in danger. What will you answer and how? Can some of you type your answers? Just use common sense. This is a question based on common sense. This can be solved using common sense. Yes, Amit has typed B. Manoj has typed B. Mugesh, Nitin got it wrong. Nirwan B. Okay. C, B, D, B, C. Okay. Nobody for A. Yeah? Okay. B, C, D, A. Yeah. A is also coming. Good. But I will explain. This question can be easily answered using common sense. The common sense is that don't take knowledge from what you learned in Polity, Lakshmikant, or some other books. Just use common sense and see what happens if there are no laws. We think that laws are something which try to curtail freedom, but it's actually the reverse. We need laws to get freedom. For freedom of right to education, right to work, right to information. So laws are there which will give. If there are no laws, there will be no freedom. Okay, we know like why we have fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are something which protects the encroachment of state into the individual rights. So we need some laws so that the liberty is not curtailed. So just that common sense, you get the correct answer. Just use that common sense. That is the common sense. So the correct answer for that question is answer B. If there are no laws, there is no liberty. The hint is that go through the John Locke's quote. John Locke has said that when there is no law, there is no freedom. If you know this quote, you could have easily answered this. Even without knowing this quote also, just thinking in the direction, the pattern of your thinking should be like what I am telling now. You should think like this. If there are no laws, there is no freedom. Think like that. Okay. Hope that is clear. The first IET. The other, we can look at the other options as well. If there are more laws, there is less liberty. There is no scientific basis for that. There can be many laws, but the laws can in fact give you more freedom, right? So if there are more laws, if you're saying that there is less liberty, makes no sense. And see, if there is liberty, laws have to be made by the people. That is also does not make sense. And the laws, if the laws are changed too often, liberty is in danger. That is not at all making any sense, because sometimes we need to make amendments for more liberty. So if the laws are changed too often, if the liberty is in danger, means that is also not something which can be accepted. Yes, what Varinder said is also right. Like laws can curb or limit liberty. Yeah, there are certain laws which will curb liberty, but that is something like an exception. Generally speaking, we make laws so that there will be order. There won't be any chavos. There are millions of people around us, right? Like, so to avoid chavos, to avoid others to encroach into our freedom, we make laws. If there are no laws, it will be all chavos. So generally speaking, if there are no laws, there is no liberty. That is the correct answer. That is the IET based on common sense. If you see similar questions in UPSC, just choose common sense and apply. This is just an example. Okay. The next questions. Let's move to the next IET. The next IET is finding clues in the question itself. Without knowing that, the first answer we didn't take knowledge from anything else. Even the pre-exists, what you know, you all might be 20-25 years, right? So what you have gained in those 20-25 years, not specifically what you studied for UPSC preparation, we just used what you already know. Using what you already know, we solved that question. Okay. The second question is something like using the clues in the question. In some questions, careful observation can help you find hints. Look for hints in the question keywords. I will take an example and I will explain. This is a 2015 question on INDARC. The term INDARC, sometimes seen in the news, is the name of an indigenously developed radar system inducted into Indian defense. India satellite to provide services to the countries of Indian Ocean Rim. A scientific establishment set up by India in the Antarctic region. The India's underwater observatory is to scientifically study the Arctic region. This is something. This even though this is a webinar, I don't intend it to be a monotonous, something like a monologue. I won't intend to speak myself throughout. I need participation from your end so that it will be something like a workshop. You will also practice these 20 questions through this webinar, through this workshop. So you'll also learn. So please type your answers in the chat session so that you will not fall asleep. Because this is afternoon, right? Like you have to stay awake. You have to make this afternoon really productive. Please type your answers in the chat window. Don't think that what others think of you, because you don't know any of the participants this in webinar. Just type. Your face is not visible. Just a name, random name. Okay. You can type what you think. Like, yeah, many of you have got it right. Almost all of you have got it right. Almost everyone has typed exactly Priyanka, Arc for Arctic. Correct. This is a very direct question. But in actual prelims, many have got it wrong. That is the case. The only thing you have to do is that you have to just look at the keywords in the question itself. INDARC had IND and ARC. So IND stands for India and ARC stands for Arctic. So D is the answer. India's underwater observatory to scientifically study the Arctic region. Okay, hope that's interesting. This technique is interesting, right? Now let's move to the IET 3. Great. IET 3 is to connect with pre-existing knowledge base. Connect with pre-existing knowledge base in the sense that you may be able to arrive at the right answer with what you already know without any in-depth study. With what you already know, you will be able to find the correct answer with what you already know. Let's take a question and see. I will take a 2018 question. The question was on Swadhantra Party. Consider the following statements. Please also try to solve the question along with me. Okay, you can also try to solve the question along with me so that it will be a real exam practice kind of thing for you as well. Consider the following statements. In the first Lok Sabha, the single largest party in the opposition was Swadhantra Party. In the Lok Sabha, a leader of opposition was recognized for the first time in 1969. In the Lok Sabha, if a party does not have a minimum of 75 members, its leader cannot be recognized as the leader of opposition. Which of the following statements given is or are correct? 1 and 3 only, 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Which of these statements given above is or are correct? Chetan, Mayank, Ravi, Rahul, Jessica, Reshma, Mol, Charles. Great. A lot of participation. Thank you. Almost everyone is getting it correct. The most number of answers, 3 is wrong. Okay. Why is 3 wrong? Why is A wrong? Why is the first statement wrong? This IET is about applying your pre-existing knowledge base, what you have already learned. Okay. So you need some kind of knowledge to answer this question, not a specific knowledge, but an overall idea. Okay. The overall idea. Okay. Can anyone tell me why the first statement is wrong? Mayank got it right for the third. Okay, Sanjay, 10% of seat is required for a party to appoint one of its own as LOP. Okay, good. Swadhantra, what? So, yeah, exactly. Ishraul got it right. Swadhantra Party was formed in the late 1950s. Okay. That is all about this question. If you just know that answer, you will get it correct. You will get it correct because the first state is in the first Lok Sabha. When is the first Lok Sabha? India won independence in 1947, but the first Lok Sabha was from 1952, right? And Swadhantra Party, do you know when was Swadhantra Party formed? Swadhantra Party was actually formed in 1959. And if you also, just like the third statement also, if you know that if you know that the Swadhantra Party was formed in 1959, you could have easily cancelled the first statement because the first Lok Sabha was from 1952. Also, if that pre-existing knowledge, if you had, you could have easily cancelled statement number 1. If you didn't have that knowledge, you could have looked at question number 3. The question number 3 states that if a party does not have a 75 members, its leader cannot be recognized as a leader of the opposition. But you know that at least 10% of the seats is needed. If you have come across recently, if you have gone through the newspapers, you have heard the controversy around the status of the leader of opposition. At that time, you might have noticed that 10% of seats is required for a leader of opposition status. 10% of the seats in Lok Sabha, it will count something like a 55 seats. So it's mentioned that minimum 75. So if you had, at least you were a casual reader of newspapers, you could have easily got the third statement wrong. You could have marked the third statement wrong. And if you mark the third statement wrong, the only statement without the third option is B, 2. So you could have easily arrived at the right answer, which is answer 2. Hopefully, this is clear now. This is the third IET. This is what is the first was based on common sense. The second and the third is actually based on some pre-existing knowledge. You need some sort of knowledge to answer this question. Not specifically, you might not be knowing everything about this question. You might not be knowing the second statement, whether second statement was right or not. You don't know. You are not sure whether Lok Sabha, the leader of opposition, was recognized for the first time in 1969. That you are not sure, but still you were able to correctly answer this question because of some other knowledge with respect to the other statements. The fourth, let's move to the fourth IET. Otherwise, we will not be able to finish in time. We have only 3 hours. When the clock is also ticking, you can see at the bottom, right? Within 2 hours, the room will be closed. This is a live room, and the live room will be closed in 2 hours. We have to finish the around 130 slides we have. Let's look at the fourth IET. Look for unfamiliar answer choices. So if you want to eliminate a wrong option, always look for unfamiliar answer choices. Unfamiliar answer choices in the sense that you have been studying for UPSC prelims for at least 1 year. Many of you might be veterans. You might have been studying for 3, 4, 5 years. But most of you might be studying for at least 1 year, and you might have been gone through many books like Lakshmikant, Ramesh Singh. So many books you might have been gone through also. But even after studying all these textbooks, materials of coaching institutes, or so and so things, but still, if you find any answer choices totally unfamiliar, don't think that that is the right answer because you don't see it as familiar. But it's probably the wrong answer choice because even after studying for so long, you have not seen such a thing, and probably that can be a wrong answer. Okay. Consider the 2017 question on rights and duties. In the context of India, which one of the following is the correct relationship between rights and duties? Rights are correlative with duties. Rights are personal and hence independent of society and duties. Rights, not duties, are important for the advancement of the personality of the citizen. Duties, not rights, are important for the stability of the state. Please mention the option in the chat section. Are you all following the mass trends, or are you finding it yourself? Everyone is mentioning A. Are you all confident, or are you just following the trends of answers typed by others? Okay, a few D options are also coming now. A few D, but mostly A. Okay, clear eye smoke. Was that asking clear eye smokes? Okay, let me explain this. Mostly you are getting it correct. It's good. It's good that you are getting correct, because you are getting correct means you have high chances of clearing prelims this year as well, because you are very near to the right answers. Good. As clear eyes prelims test series users, you are doing well. Good. Uh, the correct answer is answer A. Most of you have got it right, and the other three are wrong. Other three are wrong in the sense that it's totally unfamiliar, because you are all students of polity. You have studied Lakshmikant or other textbooks for Indian polity. Have you ever come across a statement like rights are personal and hence independent of the society and duties? Have you ever seen such a statement in Lakshmikant? Rights are personal. Or the statement C, rights not duties are important for the advancement of the personality of the citizen. Or D, or duties not rights are important for the stability of the state. These are all statements which are just made for the sake of making a wrong answers. This has nothing to do with the reality. These are all unfamiliar statements. And what is familiar statement? Familiar statement is rights are correlative with duties. You might not have heard such a statement as such. You might have heard something like this: rights and duties are two sides of the same coin. You have heard this statement, right? Rights and duties are two sides of the same coin. This is the same statement put in a different way. Rights are correlative with duties. Rights are correlative with duties means rights and duties are the same side of two coin. If there are fundamental rights, there are fundamental duties as well. This is exactly the same. If you just know this, if you find this as familiar, you could have easily answered this question correct. Now, hopefully that technique you understood. Now let's look at another technique. Another technique is to look for opposite answer choices. Opposite. Look for opposite answer choices. One of them can be the right answer. You can do to improve your odds of answering the question correctly is to look for answer choices that are completely opposite to one another. Oftentimes, one of the two answers is going to be correct. Okay, let's see an example and see. This is a question asked on bank rate in 2013. Please tell me which are the opposite choices. An increase in the bank rate generally indicates that A, market rate of interest is likely to fall. B, central bank is no longer making loans to commercial banks. C, central banking is following an easy money policy. D, central bank is following a tight money policy. First, can you tell me which are the opposite answer choices here? Which are the opposites? Opposite to, yeah, Amit, correct. C and D are opposite. Anyone else? Any objections? Okay, C and D are opposites. Exactly. So, when you see a question like this, when you get a question, actually these kind of questions are often repeated in UPSC. May not be the same question, but the similar trend is always there in UPSC. Okay. The opposite answer statements are something like the central bank is following an easy money policy, central bank is following a tight money policy. If you see any question something like this, it's high chance that the right answer is either one of those, either one of the opposite choices, so that you can eliminate the other two options. A and B you can directly eliminate, so that you will be left with only two options, and the probability of getting that answer correct will increase to 50%, which is much higher than the initial 25%. Initially, I told that even if you don't know any answer, the percentage of getting that correct is 25%. If you eliminate one option, it increases to 33%. But if you are able to eliminate it to two options, the probability of getting it right increases to 50%. So if you are eliminating like this, you already have 50% chance of getting it right, which is a very high chance of getting it right. Definitely mark either one of those. If you are not sure which one, even if you are not sure, please mark either any of those. In this case, which is the right answer? Most of you are correctly pinged, and the correct answer is D. The correct answer is D. Central bank is following a tight money policy. Tight money policy, I will explain how it happens. An increase in the bank rate means the bank rates are high. Bank rates are high means if you are borrowing from the bank, you need to pay very high interest for that. Understand? Suppose the bank rate was initially 10%, now it's to 12%. Then if you are borrowing from the bank for a loan, the bank rate will be much higher than the initial rates. So that, what does it mean? Does that mean the money is coming up easily or money is very tight? That means the money is very tight, right? The central bank is following a tight money policy. That's how it comes. Let's move to the another IET. Some of these IETs, probably this IET I might have already discussed in ClearEye's website itself. So I have already told, right? Like, about 10 IETs I have discussed in the website. There are some IETs which are additional, and you will see that in the coming slides. But even if you have seen some of the IETs in the website, probably explaining from the mouth of the teacher itself can help you much better, because you will remember this. Also, this is 1 week before the exam, right? So you will remember this very much when you go to the exam hall. You will remember many of these IETs, and probably that will help you in actual exam. I have mentioned, like, look for unfamiliar choices. I have mentioned to look for opposite answer choices. Now what I am saying is to look for look-alike answer choices. Look-alike, similar, very similar answer choices. Okay. Look for look-alike choices. One of them can be the answer. Conventional wisdom often dictates that if two answers look alike but are slightly different, one of the two choices is probably correct. Understand? Let's see a question and see. Okay. This is a question on ELISA, a 2017 question. What is the purpose of Evolved Laser Interferometer Space Antenna ELISA project? To detect neutrinos, to detect gravitational waves, to detect the effectiveness of missile defense system, to study the effect of solar flares on our communication systems. This is the question. Before getting into the answer directly, many of you might have already know the answer. But before knowing the answer, please tell me which are the similar or look-alike answer choices. Which are the similar answer choices? Similar answer choices, A and B are similar. To detect neutrinos, to detect gravitational waves, A and B. A, B, C. Manoj says that A, B, C. Yeah, I think A, B, C are somewhat similar. A stands for to detect neutrinos, B stands to detect gravitational waves, and C for to detect effectiveness of missile defense system. Okay, three are very similar. So if three answers are very similar, the answer can be one among them. But that's what I'm saying. It may not be 100%. It may not be every time 100%, but this is a very high probability. That's what I'm telling. 90% of the time, it will be something like this. So we'll rule out the other option for the time being. We'll say that since the A, B, C are very similar, we'll rule out D. so that the probability of getting it correct increases to 33% from the initial 25%. Then we have to eliminate other options also. We'll see. Okay, we'll see option C. What is option C saying? To detect the effectiveness of missile defense system. It has some problems, right? The question is about space antenna, and the option C it deals with about missile defense system. Also, the statement is not that is not phrased very good. This is not phrased in a good context, because it is mentioning that to detect the effectiveness of missile defense system, because we cannot detect the effectiveness of a missile defense system. It has some problems with respect to grammar. You can measure the effectiveness of a missile defense system, but you cannot detect the effectiveness. You are measuring the effectiveness, right? You are not detecting. So C is also wrong. Yeah, correct. Detect is wrong. We cannot use the word detect there. And also neutrinos. Neutrinos is also, for this also you need some pre-existing knowledge, because we have neutrino observatories in Tamil Nadu. So this is not something which is neutrinos are there everywhere, right? In Earth also it has, not in the space. So to detect neutrinos also is not the right option, because we can detect neutrinos not from the space but directly from the Earth. So the correct answer is the connect with the space antenna, ELISA, laser, and you will arrive at the correct answer, which is B, to detect gravitational waves. I will explain how we arrived at that. Initially, we looked for the very lookalike statements. There were three lookalike statements. Then we we cancel out two options, A and C. We cancel. Then we arrived at the right answer without knowing the answer, because all these questions I am solving without any knowledge, because I don't know the correct answer. Just solving on the flow, just using some techniques I am solving. Okay. Yeah, Sri Chandra, yeah, you mentioned correct. Sometimes we get too carried away in the middle of the finding a correct option that we forget about the language and thing. I'm happy that you found it interesting. D cannot be the option, because it is study solar flares and communication system. No, because it has something to do with the space and laser and ELISA. ELISA is directly connected with gravitational waves. The question was asked at that time because in 2017 it was the time the gravitational waves were in use. So it is connected with current affairs as well at that time. That's why it was asked. IET 7, the 7th IET, it's very easy. It does not have to do with anything like pre-existing knowledge base or anything like that. It's something very peculiar with this IET, is that look for the middle value in case of numerical options. If a question presents a series of numerical answers, you are unable to eliminate any of the possible choices with any certainty. The good rule of thumb is to throw out the lowest and highest value possible and arrive at the middle option. Okay. I'm not saying it will work 100% times. Don't think like that. But as I always tell, it will work in a majority of cases. Let's go through this question. Okay. It was a question asked about the minimum number of states in 2017. If you travel by road from Kohima to Kottayam, what is the minimum number of states within India through which you can travel, including the origin and the destination? Kohima to Kottayam. Okay. So I'm basically from Kerala, so I know where is Kottayam. But not everyone from the north may not be knowing Kottayam. So this question you might find it very strange, or you may not be knowing the correct answer. In that case, what you should do? You should look for the middle options. Which are the middle options? You're directly telling me the right answer, which is very good. Considering the fact that you are writing UPC prelims within a week. But can you just tell me the middle options? 6, 7, 8, 9, which are the middle options? B and C, correct. L1, correct. 7 and 8 are the middle options. So again, we are eliminating the extreme options. A and D we are eliminating. Now we are left out with only 7 and 8. Mark any of those. If you are not sure whether it's 7 or 8, take a chance and mark. You at least you have 50% chance of getting it right. Mark in those cases. Mark in those cases and get it right. If you went wrong also, that's fine, but still the chance of getting it right is very high because it's 50%. And mark it. The correct answer is actually 7, but if you're not sure it is 7, mark 7 or 8. That's okay. But you can eliminate 6 and 9. That's what I'm telling. Go for the middle options in case of numerical values. Focus on the middle options and mark either one of those. The correct answer is actually 7. Now, shall we go to the 8th IET? The IET 8 is a part by part true or false test. It's a true or false test. As I told that the whole UPC prelims is a true or false test. Okay, the whole UPC is a true or false test. But what I am asking in this particular technique is that take every statement in the question and analyze it part by part and see if any part of it is actually wrong. If any part of it is actually wrong, the whole statement is wrong. But if you're a beginner, if you're writing prelims for the first time, you may not realize this. But once you're a veteran, you might be already knowing this. For beginners, usually commit a mistake that they tend to think that UPC always set questions in a fashion that, yeah, that statement will be right. They think that almost all statements in UPC prelims are right. They don't go with a preconceived notion that UPC purposefully puts wrong statements or makes statements wrong. That's a mentality. That's a thinking attitude for a beginners. There's a mental block, but that you have to overcome. That's why I'm taking this session, and that's why I'm asking you to take mock exams. You all are or paid subscribers, means you are serious about this particular thing. So they purposefully put wrong answer statements. But what I am telling in this particular IET is that this is you have to look at each statement part by part. Then see if any part of the statement is wrong. If any part of the statement is wrong, the whole statement is wrong. Okay, let's see on the next question. This is a question on IONS, which was asked in 2017. Consider the following with respect to Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, IONS. The inaugural session of IONS was held in India in 2015 under the chairmanship of Indian Navy. IONS is a voluntary initiative that seeks to increase maritime cooperation among the navies of littoral states of the Indian Ocean region. Which of the following statement is correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Which statement is wrong? At least you can see if there is any statement which is partly wrong. Tell me which statement is partly wrong. Which statement? Statement number 1, 1 or 2, which is partly wrong. Gule, Priyanka, Ravi, okay, 1 is part. Manoj says that 1 is partly wrong. What is partly wrong there, Manoj? What is wrong in statement 1? If 1 is partly wrong, what is wrong there? Is the inaugural IONS not held in India, or is it the year, or is it the chairmanship? Which is the issue? No, it's not the chairmanship. It's actually the year. Correct. Everybody got it correct. The year. Year is the problem. Actually, here The other thing is all correct. The inaugural INS is correct. The chairmanship is correct. But the issue here is the only with respect to year. It was actually, Amit got it correct. It is not in 2015, but it was actually in 2009, I guess. It was 2009, I believe, 2008 or 9, under the chairmanship of Indian Navy. That is the only problem, okay, with respect to that. 2008 or 9, I guess. That statement becomes wrong because of the year. Because of the year, the first statement becomes wrong. And what is the next statement? Obviously, this statement 2 is correct. So the correct answer is B, 2 only. Because but the why this question became wrong is because it was partly wrong. A partly wrong means completely wrong. Okay, that's what I wanted to convey. A partly wrong statement. There is nothing in UPSC like a partly correct statement. A partly correct statement is completely wrong statement. Okay. Here was the problem. So the correct answer is B. But along with this question, the thing which I would like to tell you is regarding the current affairs. This was a question asked in 2017. Remember the date. It is a question asked in 2017. And the question was about the inaugural session of the IONS. And the inaugural session, as just we discussed, it was done in 2008 or 2009. But the 2008 or 9 current affairs became a current affairs question in 2017. So this is something which I want to tell you. I have repeated in Clear Eyes many times that UPSC does not always stick to current affairs of last 1 year. The span of current affairs in UPSC can be 4 or 5 years. Sometimes it can be even beyond that. Probably this might have come again in news at that time, but the question was not something about what happened that time. It was about the inaugural session, which is something happened very long back. Okay, so every time the current affairs, if you go take some coaching materials of some institutes and by heart all the current affairs in the last 1 year, UPSC may not always stick to that alone. The span of the current affairs nowadays is increasing to 4, 5, 6 years. Okay, but it's not always practically possible to go for the current affairs of 6 or 7 years back. That's what I always advise to refer back issues of Clear Eyes current affairs capsules, which are freely available on the website. You can take Clear Eyes current affairs capsules, only 50 MCQs per month is discussed. You can easily finish the current affairs capsule in no time. So if you want to go through the previous current affairs issues, just go through the Clear Eyes current affairs capsules, red colored ebooks available on Clear Eyes store. If any of you are not sure of how to find it, just go through the Clear Eyes site or app, go through the menu, you can see the ebook section, you can freely download it. So it covers all the major current affairs issues. You just need to know the major current affairs issues, because otherwise it's not practically possible to go back to all current affairs newspapers 6, 7 years back, and that's not also worth the return on investment. Always do focus study, do smart study, and do what just this is something these kind of questions can be attempted only like that. Okay, this is probably something which you know, probably many might be already knowing this. Okay, great. Kule has already downloaded. Great to know that. IET 9 says that look for generalized statements having always. Generalized statements are generally wrong. Okay, one who generally generalizes generally lies. Generalized statement would always reflect that answer choice would apply regardless of the situation. Answers containing words like always are typically incorrect. Kanika Reddy, I will try to summarize. After 20 techniques, I shall try to summarize, or at the end, I will try to summarize. Don't worry. IET 9 is something like, it's not about extreme keywords. Yeah, it's kind of extreme, but I would say that this technique is about generalizations in the sense that we'll come to extreme keywords later, but this is something like always this situation will happen always. If UPSC is coming with a sweeping statement, something like that, be cautious. That question may not be always correct. It can be wrong. Let's see. This is a question asked in 2011. I have taken even back at least 8-9 years back questions also in this session. Let's see. UPSC question on early maritime history of India. See if you can find any generalized statements with always. India has maintained its early cultural contacts and trade links with Southeast Asia across Bay of Bengal. For its this preeminence of early maritime history of Bay of Bengal, which of the following could be the most convincing explanation or explanations? As compared to other countries, India had a better shipbuilding technology in ancient and medieval times. The rulers of South India always patronized traders, Brahmin priests, and Buddhist monks in context. Monsoon winds across Bay of Bengal facilitated sea voyages. Both A and B are convincing explanations in this context. Which is the generalized statement? Which is Chetan says that B is generalized. Gule is saying that B is generalized. Someone is saying that C is the answer. B. Let's initially see which is the generalized statement. Then we can go for the answer. Okay, just rule out the generalized statement first. B is generalized. Okay, correct. Okay. B says what does B says? The B says that the rulers of southern India always patronized traders, Brahmin priests, and Buddhist monks in this context. This is a statement having always. So this is a generalized statement. So let's rule out B. If B is gone, D is also gone, right? Since D has both A and B are convincing explanations in regard. So if B and D are gone, then we are left out with only A and C. A states that A and C. Then now the chance of getting the answer is also increased to 50%. We are left out with only two options. We can mark any of those. What does A says? A says that as compared to other countries, India had a better shipbuilding technology in ancient and medieval times. And C says monsoon winds across Bay of Bengal facilitated sea voyages, which is very probable. A is not that probable because as compared to other countries, India had a better shipbuilding technology in ancient and medieval times. That is something like a propaganda statement or something like that. But because India does not have if India had better shipbuilding technologies in ancient and medieval times, what happened in modern times? Or we have not read about any of those India shipbuilding technologies in any of the history textbooks, right? We have not read about that. Okay, ancient and medieval times. We are not known for the shipbuilding technology, India. So or in comparison with others also, we are not known that way. So A is a very sweeping statement. Of course, B is also a sweeping statement, generalized statement. Then we are left out with only C. So C is the correct answer. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in medieval times, Europe excelled in shipbuilding. That's why Europe, they were adventurers, they were travelers, because Europeans had in medieval times, Europe had the shipbuilding technology, not India. Correct. Because what we did in this technique is that, what you're telling about Cholas is correct. Yeah, Cholas is correct, but that is only a exception, not a generalized statement. But not in comparison also, not as whole as ancient and medieval India. And in 2011, in this question, what I did is that I tried to find that word always. So if you find a question like this, what you have to do is to be patient and look for the keywords like always. If you find this question and if you are unable to find locate that always, you'll be in trouble. You might have marked something else. But if you find that always, you will be more cautious, and then you will be able to rule out the wrong options and arrive at the correct answer. Shall we move to the next question? We have around 1.5 hours left. Do you need a break or something, or can I continue as such? If you want, you can drink water or something else. It's perfectly fine. Can I move to the next question? Okay, thank you for letting your everyone wants to continue, and I think right from the start, almost everyone are in this session itself. which is a great sign. Almost everyone is there. Nobody has really left. This was a short notice session also, because I planned it really quick. The platform, this was a new platform because we have a lot of subscribers in ClearAce series, right? So we cannot do a Zoom session or Google Meet, something kind of things. But also I wanted it to be in a closed loop. So this is a new platform which we recently associated. And a quick notice, at least many of you have joined. I'm happy that you all joined, and I'm happy that I could provide some validation to all of you. And we shall go on. We shall continue to the next slide, so that we will finish up everything before the session ends. We have to go through the next. We shall go through the next slides. We have seen a generalized statement with always. Now we shall see generalized statements with never. Generalized statements with never reflect that answer choice would apply regardless of the situation. And answers containing the word like never are typically incorrect. Again, just like I told in the previous slide, the one who generalizes generally lies. Let's see the question on Simon Commission asked in 2013. Chetan, thank you. The people of India agitated against the arrival of Simon Commission because Indians never wanted the review of the working of the Act of 1919. Simon Commission recommended the abolition of diarchy. There was no Indian member in the Simon Commission. The Simon Commission suggested the partition of the country. Which is the generalized statement having never? It's good that many of you already know the right answer with your pre-existing knowledge, with the knowledge, because you are all knowledgeable. That's very good sign, because many of you are finding the correct answer even without applying IETs, which is great. I would like to see such kind of candidates. But somehow, if in exam, if you need some kind of technique, let's practice that. That's why I'm asking, which is the generalized statement with never in it? Yeah, A is the statement with never in it, never also. So if we have to rule out A, okay, Indians never wanted the review of the Act of 1919 is a wrong statement. It's a very generalized statement. So we will rule out that. Then even then the probability of getting it correct increases to 33% from 25%. So you can mark either of the three. Your chances of getting it correct increases. But let's find out the correct answer. Okay. Never, because of Indians never wanted, in the sense that will be, we are removing that. Then we are left out with three options, B, C, and D. The correct answer is of course C. Many of you have already told that. Because there was no Indian member in the Simon Commission. That's why Indians protested, right? Simon, go back, Simon. That was the slogan there. So the other statements are wrong. Simon Commission recommended the abolition of diarchy. That is not the recommendation of Simon Commission. Simon Commission suggested the partition of the country. That is also a wrong statement. Partition is something which came many years later. So when was Simon Commission appointed? It was in 1927, right? The partition discussion of partition all came after 1940s. At that time, 1927, there is no discussion on partition. So the correct answer is answer C. Hope it's clear. Exactly. Now we have seen some generalized statements. Now we'll see some extreme statements. There is slight difference between generalizations and extreme statements. Then now we'll see some extreme statements and see how we can ring a bell when you see an extreme statements, and how to eliminate options with extreme statements. Okay. Extreme statements with word drastic should ring a bell. Answers containing words like drastic are too good to be true and are typically incorrect. Okay. Tip 1. Extreme statement has more chance to be wrong in case of social science. And not every time you should not be too much worried about extreme statements. Probably in science, some statements might be very extreme, but that is not the case with humanities. Okay. If you find some questions in humanities, that means social sciences, extreme statements is very rare, because social sciences are not that extreme. And think from the perspective of the question setter. This is the thing which I want to tell you. Okay, you are all aspirants attempting the question paper, but think from the perspective of the question setter, the examiner, and he has to somehow make some questions wrong, completely wrong. So how can he make some question options completely wrong? He has to add some adjectives to the option, so that it will look like wrong. If any question comes, whether the question is right or wrong, it should look like a wrong answer. So he will ask some terms like drastic, enormous, those kind of extreme statements, words will be added to look the question statement extreme. Let's see a question and see how it goes. Is it visible? The fonts are visible, right? What is or are the most likely advantages of implementing the goods and services tax, GST? Okay, it will replace multiple taxes collected by multiple authorities, and thus will create a single market in India. It will drastically reduce the current account deficit of India, and it will enable to increase its foreign exchange reserves. It will enormously increase the growth and size of the economy of India, and will enable it to overtake China in the near future. 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Many of you might be already knowing the correct answer, but let me help. Please help me finding the extreme statement with the words which I mentioned before. Which was the words I mentioned before? Drastic or enormous. Which are those statements with extreme statements? Which are the extreme statements? Manoj got it right. Dattraya got it right. Kanika Reddy got it right. Rahul, correct. Lakshmi, correct. Yes. Statement 2 had the word the drastically reduce the current account deficit. Statement 3, what is statement 3 saying? It will enormously increase the growth of the size of the economy, and it will enable it to overtake China in the near future. It's a very extreme statement. India is not going to overtake China in the near future. And near future is also a very vague term, right? But look for these words: drastically reduce, enormously increase. These all should ring some bell in your heads. The answer is actually, if statement 2 is extreme, statement 3 is extreme, only statement 1 is there, right? Left out. So answer is A only. It's very simple, right? UPSC asks these kind of questions also. Like even if you don't know the answer, you just know how to eliminate it. That's it. This kind of question comes even in 2019. Many questions like this were there. In 2020 also this will be there. This is something which if I am asked 2 things which will be always useful to you, whether irrespective of the questions in every year, I will say 2 things. One thing is the intelligent elimination techniques. This will be applicable every year, because from the perspective of the question setter, he has to do something like this. Otherwise, it is very difficult to make some questions wrong. So this will be applicable every year. And the next thing which will be applicable every year is the test series, like Clear Eyes prelims test series. Test series offers a high return on investment. So this is something, irrespective of the years, the applicability is very high. Again, IET 12. This is also connected with extreme statement, but with a different word, different keyword. Okay, the keyword here is readily or completely. This is also extreme statement, but the keyword is readily or completely. Just like what I told before. Let's see with an example how it goes. The case of bioremediation. What are the keywords to look for? Readily and completely. Okay. In the context of solving pollution problems, what is or are advantages of bioremediation technique? It is a technique for cleaning up pollution by enhancing same biodegradation process that occurs in nature. Any contaminant with heavy metals such as cadmium and lead can be readily and completely treated by bioremediation using microorganisms. Genetic engineering can be used to create microorganisms specifically designed for bioremediation. 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. which is the extreme statements containing the keywords completely or readily. Extreme statement, which is the extreme statement? 2 is not drastic. 2 contains the keyword readily or completely, which is the extreme. 2 is the extreme. Drastic. Okay, 2 is the extreme one. 2 extreme, correct. Extreme with the keywords readily or completely. Why it's extreme? It's extreme because it uses the keywords completely, readily and completely. Okay, so any contaminant with heavy metals such as cadmium and lead can be readily and completely treated, means there is some problem in that statement. Okay, be very cautious when you see some statements. You be someone like a detective. Okay, be someone a detective to find faults in UPSC question paper. So your job is to find faults in the UPSC question paper, and if you see question statement like this, be very cautious, and that is a fault. So you can eliminate option 2. What is left out is option 1 and 3. C is correct. 1 is also correct. So the correct answer is C, 1 and 3 only. Hope it's clear. Is it clear? Going well? Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay. Now let's go to IET 13. This is also connected with extreme statements, but the keyword here is only. The keyword you have to look for is only. If you find only in any statement, then also you have to be really cautious. That can be a wrong statement. This is a question with respect to Manipuri Sankirtana asked in 2017. With reference to Manipuri Sankirtana, consider the following statements. It's a song and dance performance. Cymbals are the only musical instruments used in the performance. It is performed to narrate the life and deeds of Lord Krishna. Which is the extreme statement with keyword only? Only in 2. Yeah, correct. 2 is extreme, right? 2 is an extreme statement with only. If 2 is eliminated, that means option A and C are automatically eliminated. Then we will be left out with only 2 options. B 1 and 3 only and D 1 only. 2 is extreme. Good. Everyone is getting it correct. 2 is extreme. So we have to rule out 2. Then we will be left out with 1 and 3. 1 and 3 only. 1 and 3 only is the correct answer. In this case, it's a song and dance performance, which is correct. It's performed to narrate the life and deeds of Lord Krishna. Correct. So this is very easy. If the only thing is that you have to observe, you have to use your common sense, you have to use your logic, you have to use lateral thinking. This is something like a lateral thinking, and you will get the correct answer. This is something which you might not have heard in anywhere. Like those who you might have heard about some IET somewhere else, but the coming IETs you might not have heard anywhere else. This is look for grammatical mistakes in UPSC question papers. If you are a beginner, you might think that UPSC is something like a very perfect organization who will set very perfect questions, but in the reality, it's not that. Some questions will be ambiguous, and even when some questions has the right answer kind of thing, still some statements will be wrongly phrased. It may not be correct in the grammatical context. It will have grammatical mistakes. That is what you need to look at. Once in a while, you will be able to eliminate possible answer choice by using grammatical context, even though UPSC has gotten a lot better about this over years. Such questions can be instantly eliminated. Eliminate answer choices using wrong grammatical context. I will explain this with another question. The annual range of temperature in the interior of the continents is as high as compared to the coastal areas. Which what is or as are the reasons? The thermal difference between land and water, variation in altitude between continents and oceans, presence of strong winds in the interior, heavy rains in the interior as compared to coast. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So this is the technique, which what I'm asking is to find the grammatical issue in any of the statements with respect to the question. Okay. Do you find any issues with respect to grammar in any of the statements, and which statement has grammatical issues? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is problematic. Good. 3 has issue. Presence of strong winds in the interior has some issues. Correct. Good. Statement 3 has issues. Three statement in third interior meaning. Exactly. Chetan, you are thinking in the right direction now. It should have been difference in place of variation into heavy rains. Second statement has issues. One has issues. Okay. I'm just giving you time to you also to think along with me, so that you will also understand. So I will explain. Okay. Let look at the second statement. The question is something like this: the annual range of temperature in the interior of the continents. It's mentioned. Interior of the continents is mentioned is as high as compared to coastal areas. What is or are the reasons? That is the question. Okay. The second statement says that variation in altitude between continents and oceans. Altitude is something which we normally say, we will say use the word altitude with respect to mountains. Okay, what is the altitude of the mountains or something like that. But normally we don't say use the word altitude with respect to oceans. Oceans is not something. Oceans and altitude are not that connected. Correct. So it has some issues in that sense. Altitude between continents and ocean. It is a grammatical issue. Second statement. Third statement. Look at the third statement. Presence of strong winds in the interior. Interior of what? Interior of what? That is what Srichandra is also asking. Like third statement is having issues because it is just mentioned presence of strong winds in the interior. It does not gives clarity. In the interior can be interior of anything, right? So 2 and 3 statement has grammatical issues. We can cancel out statement 2 and 3 from the options. Those statements having 2 and 3. If any 2 or 3 are there, we will cancel out that. We will cancel out option B, or we will cancel out option C. We will cancel out option D. Then what is left out? Only the correct answer is left out, right? We increase the chance of getting the answer right to 100%. The correct answer is A. Thermal difference between land and water. Is it clear? This is very simple. All you have to do is you have to be really observant. You have to be really observant. Don't think that UPC does not make any grammatical mistakes. Think that find mistakes in the question paper. That is your job. Your job is to find mistakes in the question paper so that you can eliminate options. Great. We have 1 hour and 14 minutes left. We are now into the 15th IET. I think we have enough time. Good. After IET also we have some interesting things coming up, like how to prepare, how to solve questions. Okay, we have time. We will take some questions also then. Are you feeling bored or overwhelmed with techniques? Your brain stuck up with too much things? Do we need to ask some questions or take a break or something? How many of you have asked to speak? I think 4 or 5 have asked to speak. Great. Should we take up speakers in between, or we'll take up them later? I think we can go on for some more time, right? Carry on now. Okay. Oral. Are you noting down or something? Like, how will you memorize all these techniques? At the end of the session for speakers. Okay. We'll take a pause for a while and give it a little break. So let me ask you a question, a little bit of chit chat for about 3-4 minutes, and we'll come back to the session. Okay. How is your preparation? Are you all feeling confident about taking examination? Do you really require any help in any particular area? What is the area you are lacking? Any issues, please be open, so that if it is possible to help from my end, I will of course do. We'll sum up at the end. I will definitely do that. For the latecomers also, I will sum up all the IETs before we wind up, so that if you miss something, we can note it down. Many of you are noting it down. Great. You are taking this session seriously. I'm happy to hear that. Corona issues. Okay. Confident cutoff, we cannot predict at this time. We cannot say anything about cutoff. CSAT. Okay, CSAT, we'll discuss about CSAT. After this, we'll discuss about CSAT. These techniques are more specifically applicable to general studies papers, but the case like with the extreme statements or those generalized statements, that is equally applicable to the comprehension kind of questions in CSAT as well. Sir, can you please discuss the new IITs? All of these are available in public. Not all of these are available. A few of them are available. Not everything is available. But of course, I am planning new IITs as well. Are you interested in new IITs? Anxious? Okay. Now we are feeling confident. Great to know that. CSAT is made. CSAT, I will discuss strategies for CSAT. CSAT is not something to be feared of. It is a very easy area. All you need to score is 66% marks in CSAT. 66 marks out of 200. Okay. About tomorrow's decision of court cases, I am not in a position to comment. Let's hopeful that it will be conducted on October 4th. Okay. Don't think that it will be getting postponed. The PDF of the IITs, no, I want it to be in a closed loop of you all. We normally, even in the clearest test series also, we don't give PDFs, right? How to use the most probable questions, we'll discuss at the end. Sir, would it be revising clear eyes mock test expecting more than 45 questions? Yeah, I cannot specify a particular number, but in previous trends, 45 questions, of course, that is the trend in the previous years. Around 100 questions you can get from the clear eyes test series, as well as all the study materials like current affairs capsules, most probable prelims questions which we give as PDF. We give only very limited resources, right? We don't burden you with too much resources. But of course, clearing cutoff with whatever materials we provide, that will be enough to clear the cutoff. Score much more than cutoff, like 20-30 marks above the cutoff. Okay, let's continue with the IETs. It's 15 now. Do we focus on the environment subject in the last week? I will explain what to focus in the last week. We'll take up that. Simplification of Indian and material art and culture specials of required. Those plain cracks. Okay, great to know that. It's great to chat with you, so that I also got some idea like what you want. Probably we'll conduct more sessions like this. That's one thing which I get from this session. That you all need more guidance. Probably I personally was not that much coming face to face with you all aspirants. Probably I can come again, meet you all. CDS, June current affairs. I think it's better be equipped with current affairs after June as well. Until the last month at least, for the safety, be always safe. Don't take chances. So be prepared with until the latest current affairs. A few techniques are really new to us, for me at least, and I could solve previous year questions sitting in our rooms. But the main exam, can it be quite little? Anything like that you can help with. Practice a few questions that will help. Practice questions, practice previous year questions, so that we'll used to it. Normally in the last week, try to practice maximum previous year questions. We'll get back to IETs and take up more questions later. We, of course, you can also come face to face. Okay, now we are only chatting, but this platform has options for you to come on the platform and speak directly, just like I do. We'll take up that option at the later stage of the session. Now, shall I go to the IET 15? Thanks for the preventative. Okay, I see that. Okay, let's move to IET 15. Okay, it's about artificially complicated statements. Artificially complicated statements, in the sense that when you get a UPSC question, and if the option looks highly complicated to you, don't think that because of the complications that is the answer, but because of the complication, think that can be a wrong answer. It might be a purposefully complicated option. Okay, the artificially complicated option is the wrong in most cases. If you're having trouble figuring out which answers can be eliminated, don't assume that the most complicated answer choice is correct. Often at least one or two of the possible choices will be unnecessarily complicated and are designed to serve as distractors for those who do not know the material. In most cases, the unnecessarily complicated option is wrong. Let's take an example and see. Okay, you have to tell me which is the artificially complicated option. This is a question asked in UPSC Civil Services Preliminary Examination 2017, and this is a question on Wildlife Protection Act. In India, if a species of tortoise is declared protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, what does it imply? It enjoys the same level of protection as the tiger. It no longer exists in the wild. A few individuals are under captive protection, and now it's impossible to prevent its extinction. C, it's endemic to a particular region of India. D, both B and C statement above are correct in this context. Which is artificially complicated? Anshul is saying B is artificially complicated. Everyone agrees. Pulkit also saying B is complicated. Home saying B is wrong. Balram says A has problems. Oh no, not problems. He just mentions A. Answer is A. B is complicated. B is unnecessarily complicated. B is complicated. Correct. Okay, you are thinking just like me. B is odd. So what is odd with B? B says that it's no longer exists in the wild. A few individuals are under captive protection, and it goes on to the extent of saying that now it's impossible to prevent its extinction. Now it's impossible to prevent its extinction. That's a very extreme statement. All of the statements are something like artificially complicating, right? Too much complication in that. So B is definitely not the answer. If B is wrong, you can eliminate which other option? You can eliminate D as well, right? No, you can eliminate D as well. So you are left out with only it enjoys the same level of protection as the tiger, and C is it's endemic to a particular region of India. And Wildlife Protection Act, what is the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act? It deals with animals that has to be protected. So if a tiger is one of the animals that is protected under Schedule 1. So if a species of tortoise is also declared as protected under Schedule 1, that enjoys the same level of protection as the tiger. Yes, and C can be deemed as ambiguous. Yes, the correct answer is A1. Correct answer is A1. 16th IET. This is a very common kind of thing you will see in the UPSC prelims question paper. IET number 16. You will see this year as well. I'm 100% sure that you will find a question similar to this in 2020 question paper. The thing is that UPSC, the one who sets the question paper, they somehow have to make some question statements wrong. Okay, so how will they make some question paper statements wrong? The one area where normally they will ask a question about, say, schemes. This particular scheme is run by this particular ministry. Normally that statement will be wrong. They will try to change the scheme name and with the name of the ministry or department. Normally scheme rate, the scheme will be linked to a non-related ministry. That is a usual thing which I have noticed many times in UPSC previous year prelims question papers. Okay, IET number 16 deals with this, a mismatch with the authorities and programs. So one of the most common ways by which UPSC try to make an option wrong is by associating a ministry or department with an unrelated program scheme. When you notice a ministry department schemes associated, proceed with caution. It is extremely likely that the statement is or option is wrong. UPSC CSE question on program and project ministry. Example, take this. Let me know which is the wrongly related one. Which are the wrongly related one? Tell me 1, 2, 3. 2014 question. It's a tough question actually. It's a tough question. Not the schemes that usually come across. Please let me know which are the statements you think as 3 wrong. Tell me statement numbers first. 1, 2, 3. Which are the statements you think as wrong? 3 is wrong. National Watershed Development Project 4 is not under rural development. 3 is wrong. 1 and 2 wrong. 3 wrong. All 3 wrong, I guess. 3 is wrong. All must be wrong. 1 and 2. 3. Okay. 2 is wrong, 3 is wrong, seems all are wrong. Yeah, this is the case with this question. All answer statements are wrong. All answer statements are wrong. UPSC have wrongly linked the schemes with the ministries. All 3 are wrong. Okay. That happens in UPSC. Okay. Don't think that UPSC will make every statement correct. UPSC have put the answer of this question is none. All 3 are wrong. So that also happens with respect to UPSC. The options might be shuffled. It might come, an unrelated thing will come. So generally, the UPSC shuffles the options. Okay. So what I am intending to tell you is that whenever you see a program and ministry kind of thing, the authority which does a certain thing, always be cautious. The name of the authority might be changed. It has many patterns. Only one pattern I have brought here. We'll discuss other patterns in another session. But the case is that if you see an authority-based questions, normally the way UPSC make the question statement wrong is by changing the authority. Wrong authority will be linked. Okay. This is a very interesting observation. It's nothing to related with all the IETs I discussed so far is connected with the question papers. Okay, question paper. We are solving directly from the question paper. IET 17 does not deal with the question paper, but it is dealing with your OMR sheet. It has to be with the OMR sheet, so it's really tricky. But the case is that you should not apply this technique unless you have solved as many questions as you could solve without using any technique. Okay, this is something you should do as at last. I will explain what is the clue left in the OMR sheet. Okay. Examiners who set the question papers rarely repeat the same correct answer code continuously for more than 4 times. Okay, this is an observation by after analyzing the answer keys for last 9 or 10 years. Even 4 times at a stretch itself is very rare. I have noticed 4 times same answer choice means I will explain. Say for the 10th question, if the correct answer is A, 11th question if it is A, 12th question if it is A, 13th also. The chance for 13 to be A is very, very rare. Suppose if 13 is also rare, but the chance for 14 to be A is almost 0%. It can be B, C, or D. Okay. this is nothing to do with the intelligent elimination, normal intelligent elimination, but this is based on a observation statistics based on the previous trends. Normally, UPSC try to shuffle the options. Okay, so not every question which having the same option come at a stretch. After three questions, generally another thing will come. But the case is that you should not apply this initially. Rather, suppose you have answered around 95 questions and you have time left, you don't know what to answer, but suppose I will give you an example. Okay, another example. The 10th question answer is A. 11th question answer is A. You are 100% sure about all these. 12th question you are not sure. 13th question you have again marked A, and 14th question you have correctly answered A. So 12th you are not sure. Then don't mark A here. You can, if you're doing a wild guess, then mark either B, C, or D. The chance of 5 times A coming at a stretch is very, very rare. So the 12th can be B, C, or D. And this can be applied only if you're 100% sure of the answers of 10, 11, 13, and 14. If you are done intelligent guessing on any of these, don't apply this. Okay. If you are otherwise, with your pre-existing knowledge itself, you have completely solved A, 10, 11, 13, and 14. Then 12, you can do a guess and take a chance, because the chance now to get it correct is 33%, right? So you can take a guess there. Understand? Hope that is clear. This is a surprise, or is it a shock or something like that? Is it fine? Why everybody is silent? Nobody is speaking. Is that technically clear? Okay. Surprised. Okay, fine. Because you can also check the previous year question paper key. Okay, go to the UPSC site, take the official UPSC key, see if such a trend is there. You hardly see more than four options there. It's a rare. 4, even 4 itself is rare. The maximum I have noticed is 3. Normally 3. This year I have noticed 4 for one particular option. One time I have seen a 4. Okay, not more than that. Okay, great. Good. Now let's go to the next IET. We have around 1 hour left. Okay. IET 18. 18 is the deals about the to look for the longest answer choice. I have previously mentioned in one of the previous IETs, I mentioned that the artificially complicated option may not be always correct. Okay, that is about the artificially complicated option. But now what I am telling is about the longest answer choice. The longest answer choice is something which is not artificially complicated, but it's long naturally. A naturally long answer choice that can be the correct answer. Okay. The longest answer choice without unnecessary complications may be the right answer, because that answer is long, because if UPSC omit any sentence from that answer will look wrong. So UPSC cannot omit any words from that sentence. So it's naturally long. So if you find any long sentence, think whether that is right or wrong. Okay, that has chances it to be right. To make an answer undisputably correct, those who set the question paper usually cannot compromise on the length. So the lengthier choices has higher probability of being correct if it is not artificially complicated. So think whether it's artificially complicated or not. No, you have to decide. But this is the thing. Be careful when you see a long answer choice. Let's take some examples and see whether you can solve it yourself. It's a question asked in 2017 about global infrastructure facility. Question: the global infrastructure facility is an ASEAN initiative to upgrade the infrastructure in Asia and financed by credit from the Asian Development Bank. The World Bank collaboration that facilitates the preparation and structuring of complex infrastructure public-private partnerships to enable mobilization of private sector and institutional investor capital, collaboration among the major banks of the world working with the OECD and focusing to expanding the set of infrastructure that might have the potential to mobilize private investment. And UNCTAD funded initiative that seeks to finance and facilitate the infrastructure development in the world. Which are the longest sentences here? Longest sentences. B is the long sentence. C is also long sentence. B and C are long sentences, correct? But the correct answer for this question is B. The correct answer is B. B and C are long, but the longest is B. Longest is C looks long because it's pasted in this part of the question came to the fourth sentence, but in fact the longest sentence here is actually B. C is artificially complicated, not the correct answer. B is the correct answer because UPC was not able to take out any word from the B. If we take out any word from that, for example, if it cannot take out public-private partnerships, it cannot take out World Bank, mobilization of private sector or institutional investor capital. It cannot take out any of those words from that. But to convey the full meaning, it has to keep all the words there. That's why it's long, and the long answer in general has high chances to be correct if it is not artificially complicated. C is artificially complicated. D and A are very it's not related, and it's also not the technique, not connected with the technique which we are discussing now. B is the correct answer. Okay. OECD, Harsh is saying OECD is underrated. B is longer than A and D. Correct. Exactly. Harsh, you got it right. Now another question connected with the same technique itself. 2017 question. This is a simple question. You can look at that and explain. For election to Lok Sabha, a nomination paper can be filed by anyone residing in India, a resident of the constituency from which the election is to be contested, any citizen of India whose name appears in the electoral roll of a constituency, any citizen of India. Answers please. Which is the longest sentence? Longest is C. Answer is also C. Longest is C. Answer is also C. Why? C seems long. Exactly. C is long, and that also makes the answer undisputed, right? To make the answer undisputed, it has to be long. Consider the case A. Anyone residing in India does not make any sense because that does not make sense to the question. And any citizen of India, option D, also does not convey the full meaning. To convey the full meaning is option C, any citizen of India whose name appears in the electoral roll of a constituency. Is that the case? Is it correct? You got it right? So this is something, this technique is connected with the longest sentence. Be cautious. The cases when the longest sentences become the correct answer because UPSC cannot omit any word from that. Okay. Great. Option 19, we have seen some examples with that. This is a practical application. There is no particular technique direct technique involved, but I'm just explaining it is you need to find out one wrong answer, a wrong statement in a question, wrong sentence, so that if you eliminate that, the whole answer will become easily visible to you, so that there are 100% chance of getting it right. So if you can just eliminate one wrong statement, that will help you eliminate 3 wrong answer choices. That is what I'm telling. Okay, just eliminate one wrong statement and you can eliminate all 3 wrong statements. That is IET number 19. Eliminate one answer choice and then cancel out all options with it. We shall see with an example. This is a question on the current capital account. Capital account is a question on economics connected with balance of payment. So, which of the following constitutes the capital account? Foreign loans, foreign direct investment, private remittances, portfolio investment. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 3 and 4. If you are able to eliminate one choice, one sentence, then you will be easily able to answer this question. Which is the one statement or one option you will cancel out from this? Foreign loans, foreign direct investment, private remittances, portfolio investment. Which is wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one will you be canceling out? Which one will you be canceling out? Please mention in chat. Which one you'll be treat as wrong here? Some of you have already got it right. Yeah, 3. 3 can be eliminated. 3 is not right. Good. Omkar, Harishankar, Varinder Singh. Private remittance is part of CA. Correct. Exactly. Okay. On the balance of payments from, you know that there is a current account and capital account, right? So private remittances is not part of capital account, but it is part of current account. So we can cancel out private remittances here, right? Private remittances can be cancelled out. We can cancel out private remittances. If we cancel out private remittances, which all options will go out? If we cancel private remittances, A will go out, C will go out, D will go out. Then only B will be left out, right? So without knowing other things, by just cancelling out one option, you are able to arrive at the correct answer. So this is one thing which you need to be really focused on. When you see some questions which you are unsure, you will think like you tend to leave out that question. Don't leave such questions. Think positive and see if you can cancel out just one option out of that. And just cancelling out one option may help you completely solve the question with 100% accuracy. Not just 33% or 50%, maybe 100% accuracy, you will be able to solve that. So that is question technique number 19. Last technique, IET number 20, it deals with the numerical value in an answer choice. This is also very commonly seen in UPSC question papers. When you whenever you notice any numbers in UPSC question paper, be cautious. There is high chance that can be a wrong way of wrong statement. UPSC might be purposefully misguiding you to mark it correct. But whenever you see numbers, be cautious. It can be wrong. Okay. If UPSC specifically mentioned any numerical value in answer choice, that answer choice has high probability of being wrong. Like as I told before, like how we somehow they have to create wrong answer choices. One way is to shuffling the authority. The other way of doing is to entering the answer numerical values wrong. Okay. Let's answer this question. Question on NIAF, National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, asked in 2017. With reference to National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, which of the following statement is or are correct? It's an organ of Niti Aayog. It has a corpus of 4 lakh crore at present. Select the answer using the code below. 1 only, 2 only. Okay. Which statement is wrong? Which statement is wrong? Two is wrong, second is wrong, second is wrong, second is wrong. Both are wrong, I think. Okay, both are wrong. Okay. Anyway, second is wrong. You are clear about that, right? Anyways, second is wrong. Okay, correct. But the case the case with this particular question is that both answers are wrong. But anyway, with this technique, you will be at least able to increase the probability of getting right to 50%. 4 lakh crore is a wrong figure. The actual figure, do you know the actual figure here? What is the actual number here? Instead of 4 lakh wrong, what is the actual number? Any guesses? Exactly. It's 40,000, not 4 lakh. The UPC has just added 1 0 to it. It added 1 0 additional to look that number wrong. The correct number is 40,000. Okay, so the second statement is wrong. If you are not able to solve the question correctly, or also even now itself, your chance of getting right has increased to 50%. But let's try to solve it completely. Even the first statement has also a mistake. It is mentioned it's an organ of Niti Aayog. Okay, NIF is not an organ. UPSC Niti Aayog organ that does not go well. It's not an organ. Okay. So both statements are wrong. So the correct answer is D. The correct answer is D. Okay. Let's take one example also, and then one or two examples, and then finish this IET thing. There is a question on astrostat, which was asked in 2016. There's a question on astrostat, and see if there is anything connected with numbers. See if there is anything connected with numbers. Which is a statement connected with numbers? Statement 1 or 2? Statement Amarnath, correct. Statement 2, is there anything wrong with statement 2? Two is wrong. Okay, statement 2 is wrong. What is wrong with statement 2? Statement 2 has two numbers, right? Astrostat is a 2000 kilogram satellite placed in an orbit at 1650 kilometer. So UPC, do you know what is wrong with this sentence? UPSC has shuffled actually. UPSC has shuffled both 2000 kilogram as well as 1650 kilometer. It's actually the reverse. Astrostat is a 1650 kilogram satellite placed in a 2000 kilometer above the surface of the orbit. They will shuffle the numbers. They'll somehow make the numbers wrong. Okay? This numbers is a the number is wrong. Okay, yeah, I think the 650 kilometer might be the original one. So the numbers are shuffled. So that's how made it wrong. Also, the first statement is also wrong. The first statement you can use the other technique. Which technique? The elimination, extreme elimination technique, right? It has one keyword. What is that? Only. India is the only country to have launched a similar observatory into space. So if you use both techniques, you can easily solve that. First statement is wrong. Second statement is wrong. And which is the correct answer? Exactly. The correct answer is the second statement is wrong. The 2000 kilogram is wrong. And the first statement has only. And the correct answer is D, neither 1 nor 2. Okay, last one more example and we'll finish up. Okay. This is a question on NH, the NH and the linked cities, national highways and cities connected. Please, let's be fast. Okay, we have 40 minutes left. Which is the all are somehow these are you may be wondering why I put this question, but this is also connected with numbers. Thing with numbers, which are numbers, and numbers usually are wrong, right? So which is the correct answer? Correct answer is D, none. Correct answer is D, none. Exactly. So all what is connected with numbers are wrong here. So this is a trend. This is a trend. It may not be always 100% sure, but it works in 90% of the cases. All ITs work only 90% of the cases. Okay. So that's it. The IETs are over. Okay. Let's move to the next part of this session. Okay. IETs are over. 20 IETs I have discussed. Let's move to the other part of this session, and then we'll come back and do a summary kind of thing like that. Okay. I will discuss 5 tips to score more marks in UPSC prelims, and as discussed, take calculated risk And club IETs with 3210E method. If any of you are unfamiliar with 3210E method, I have discussed in detail in clearias.com. You can refer clearias.com. You can just Google clearias plus 3210E method and you will get the correct link. And always, as I mentioned, always be cautious to find fault in UPSC answer choices or statements. Be like a detective. That's what I already told. And tip 1. If any option has more than 25% chance of being correct, always mark it. Okay, that's what I am telling. If any option has more than 25% chance of being correct, mark it. Take risk. 25%. Every question has 25% chance of being correct. But if you somehow you are eliminating one option, then there is 33% of chance getting it correct. Then mark it. Okay, take a risk and mark it. Next tip is then go multiple rounds. Don't answer questions at a single stretch. In the first round, answer questions which you are 100% sure. That means those questions which you have eliminated 3 options. If you have eliminated 3 wrong options, you are 100% sure that will be the correct answer. So in the first round, answer all questions which are 100% sure, which also means that you have eliminated 3 wrong options. In the second round, answer questions which you are 50% sure, 50-50 kind of questions. Means you have eliminated 2 options, 2 wrong options you have eliminated. The correct answer can be any one of those 2. In the second round, answer those kind of questions. And the third round, answer questions in which you are able to eliminate only one answer choice. The answer can be any one of the 3, means 33% chance. Take risk and answer all of the questions. In the fourth round, if you have time, you take a risk and answer the questions we are completely unsure also. All the 4 choices you are not sure, but you can go with your gut feeling or what you have remembering slightly or something. And if your instinct says something, you go and mark it. So there is no harm in attempting 100 questions. That's what I am telling. When I was myself as an aspirant, I have attempted 100 questions in UPSC prelims and still cleared prelims. Okay. So there is no wrong in there is no mistake in answering 100 questions. Generally, I would advise at least 90 questions, 95 questions. It's a very good attempt. Don't limit your attempts like 60 or 70. Okay, don't do that. Always take risk and take calculated risk, in the sense that that's what I'm discussing here. Take calculated risk, do intelligent guessing, and increase the number of attempts to 90, 95. There is high chance that you will pass. In the round 1, that's what I am telling. In the round 1, answer questions which are 100% sure. In the round 2, answer questions which are 50% sure. And round 3, answer questions which are 33% sure. In the round 4, questions which you have no idea at all. If you have a risk-taking habit, you can attempt this also. There is no harm in that. But if you have totally not heard of that question and no idea at all, don't blindly mark questions. That may result in negative marks. Okay. Don't take random guesses or blind guesses. If you're totally unfamiliar, it's okay to leave that question. That's why I told that 90-95 is a good attempt. There will be 5 or 6 questions you might not have any idea at all. There is no need to mark those questions. But statistically speaking, even if you mark those, there is no harm, because there is 25% chances and it will cancel out. And while doing mock exams, prepare a chart like this. This you can try even in the coming days as well. When you are solving UPSC previous year question papers, prepare a chart on a paper. And while answering the questions based on UPSC question papers, on the question paper side, on the left side of each question, you can mark using pen, like 3E, 2E, 1E, 0E, etc. Like how many options you have eliminated. Based on the number of options eliminated, you mark the number of on the side of the question paper. You mark like that, and after finishing each exam, prepare a chart like this and calculate the number of questions you attempted, the 3 kind of questions you attempted, how many correct answers you got, and how many wrong answers you got, and how many 2E kind of questions you attempted, how many correct answers, how many wrong answers, how many 1E, how many correct, how many wrong. How many 0E, how many wrong, and the bonus marks because of these attempts. You can understand that just because of you taking calculated risk, you might have scored a lot of additional marks. For example, in this chart, if I am attempting only the questions which I am 100% sure, what I would be getting only 62 marks out of 200. But if I am taking additional risk, my marks increases to 120, because I am getting bonus marks because of the taking risk by elimination. That's the power of statistics. If you know statistics, you will take risk and you will increase your chance of clearing prelims. This is what I am telling. Use symbols like 3, 2e, etc. on the question paper. But don't lose too much time doing this. Practice all these techniques before you attempt in the UPSC prelims. Okay, don't try everything fresh on UPSC question paper. Try practicing this on mock exams, and they increase the number of questions attempted. That is the third tip. I have already mentioned that. At least 90. That's what I recommend. And try to get at least 70 questions correct. This is your only aim from now. Think back from the exam hall. Think that you are sitting in the exam hall and your aim should be to get at least 70 questions correct. You can go wrong in 30 questions. There is no harm. There is no problem. You can go wrong in 30 questions, but your aim should be get at least 70 questions correct. If you get 70 questions correct, means you will get 2 into 70, 140 marks. And of the 30 questions, suppose you attempt all 100 questions and got 70 correct. 70 into 2, 140. 20 into minus 0.066. That means you will lose 20 marks negative, but you will end up in 120 marks, which is at least 20 marks above the cutoff. At least 20 marks above the cutoff. The cutoff last year was 90. Last 2 years, the cutoff was 98. So this should be your aim. Your aim should be to get at least 70 questions correct. Nothing less. This is not a improbable target. This is easy. 70 questions correct is very easy. Yeah. And last tip is to go staggeringly fast. Don't think that paper 1 is doable. Time is a crucial factor in paper 1 as well. Paper 2 time is very, very crucial. But even in paper 1 also, don't think that you will have enough time. Go fast, particularly if you are marking things in question paper and bubbling later or something. You might lose time. Okay, make sure that you are marking at least from the 45th minute. If some aspirants have a habit like they will not be immediately marking on the OMR sheet. Even when I was also an aspirant, I used to initially mark in the question paper, then I start marking the OMR sheet. But don't leave marking the OMR sheet to the end of the session, because you will not get time. Make sure that you start marking in the OMR sheet as soon as possible, probably if possible by at least the 45th minute. If possible, try to mark at the beginning itself. Just a brief overview, and then we'll take up the questions. All of you, if some of you are not familiar, this is the nature of the question paper. 2 papers, and paper 2 you just need 33% marks to qualify. That is 66 marks out of 200. These are the kind of this is only what is mentioned in the UPSC syllabus, right? In paper 1, this is what is only mentioned. It's mentioned general science. The question can be anything, but it's just mentioned general science, Indian polity and governance, history of India, national movement. This is what is mentioned paper 1, and this is marked in paper 2. What is more important now is clarity of understanding, not knowledge, not memory, but you should understand. The clarity of understanding is the key. From knowledge level, you should move to the understanding part, and don't neglect CSAT. Because I have seen many aspirants scoring excellent marks in paper 1, maybe 120, 113 paper 1, but they are scoring less than 66 in paper 2 and fail to clear prelims. So don't do that. Don't neglect CSAT. If you are take previous year UPSC CSAT papers last 3 years, and if you're comfortably scoring 100 plus in all the 3 last year prelims, don't spend much time on CSAT. But if you're scoring, if you're in the borderline around 80, 70, 80, then spend time on CSAT as well. Yes, I will show the slides again if we have time. That's why I'm moving fast now. I will just sum up all the things. I'm just summing up. Clear Eyes intelligent elimination techniques, 20 techniques we have discussed. I told that there are 20-25 techniques extra. So this is what this session, the initial part of the session was completely regarding intelligent elimination techniques. The 3210E method I have briefly discussed. The other parts of the 321E method in detail written format is there on the Clear Eyes website. And also we have around 33 memory techniques discussed on cleareyes.com. You can Google memory techniques plus Clear Eyes. You can see the memory techniques on provided by Clear Eyes. But that is not what I mentioned. Clear Eyes is not just about knowledge. We deal with both conventional and current affairs. in Clear Eyes. That is one thing which distinguishes Clear Eyes with other websites or other test prep apps. We have notes on history, geography, economics, politics, etc. Along with current affairs, we also deal with current affairs. But that is the knowledge part. But along with the knowledge part, we also deal with strategies, techniques, the exam skills, also like that. And the Clear Eyes approach, I just take a few minutes to explain that. The Clear Eyes approach to UPSC prelims or mains is something like a TTT approach, which combines the test series, textbooks, and techniques. So what we suggest is don't go with any one, just one thing, but you need all the three. You need techniques, you need textbooks, you need test series. So clubbing all three, you have very high chance of clearing the prelims. So and the Clear Eyes follows a test-based approach, which means that we focus more on taking exams and learning from the exams rather than learning too much from the textbooks, because that will take a lot of time and the return on investment is not that good. I'm not saying that you should not read textbooks, but don't think that reading textbooks end to end is the goal of you. But read textbooks to know concepts, to understand certain things. But learning from exams is much faster and much more efficient and focused way of doing things, because when you take exams, you are doing something like sitting the actual UPSC prelims. If you take 40 mock exams of Clear Eyes, this is something like you have taken 40 UPSC prelims. So that experience and that exam atmosphere, negative marking, timing, timer, all those things will add a lot of value, and that practice is what matters. Okay, so Clear Eyes follows a test-based approach, and their third approach followed by Clear Eyes is the prelims comes means integrated approach. So what we suggest is to take prelims and means together, and the study materials are also prepared in such a fashion that you can take prelims and means in an integrated manner. So right from the beginning, we suggest to follow a prelims and means integrated approach. All the details are available on Clear Eyes. You can Google these terms and you will find the corresponding articles regarding this. And about the recent trends in prelims, like what I told, the major trust is not the traditional kind of knowledge, but rather on the conceptual testing. The conceptual testing can be seen even in areas like polity. Polity, like for example, we have seen such questions like what difference between rights and duties, concept of liberty. Those are very conceptual questions, not what you normally see on traditional textbooks. These are conceptual questions. So those kind of questions are asked from polity and economics. And report and indices published by organization. International questions are now recently asked from international relations, GA tags. And as I mentioned, not only about recent current affairs, but also old info as well. And another recent trend which I have recently noticed is regarding the acts enacted by the parliament. For example, in 2019, around 11 questions. 11 questions means every question has 2 marks, right? So 11 question means around 22 marks worth questions were asked from acts enacted by Indian Parliament. Acts, not only acts, about acts, bills, rules, orders, notifications, like that. For example, last year there was a question on e-waste management rules. E-waste management rules was connected with Environment Protection Act. So there can be question about plastic waste management, bio waste management, environment protection notification, about the historical acts like Charter Acts, Wildlife Protection Act. We have seen a question on Wildlife Protection Act in this session itself. Like, so the questions about various acts, not only recent acts, but also the acts passed years before. Like for example, this time you may see a question on Epidemic Diseases Act or Disaster Management Act, because all these acts are always in news, right? Always in news. So the provisions of these acts can be asked in UPSC prelims. That is a trend. Not only in 2019, 2017, 16, etc. This is there. That's why I particularly came up with a book on important acts that transformed India, because I noticed the trend in UPSC prelims that the questions are coming from these kind of areas, not from the traditional areas. But UPSC is looking for new areas which is connecting with our day-to-day life. Somehow it is very much connected with the day-to-day life. And as an educated and intelligent youth, you are expected to know things which are happening around you. That's what UPSC is mentioning in the UPSC syllabus also. As an educated and curious youth, you should know what a curious and educated youth should be interested at. So all those questions can be asked in UPSC prelims. And this is the technique you should revise. Don't go behind too many new sources now. You should revise and consolidate what you have already learned until now. the Kindle version of the book is not available now. We have not released the Kindle version of the important acts book. The Kindle version of the important judgments book is available, but Kindle version of the acts book is not available. I am not sure whether if you order now, you may depending on the place. If you order the hard copy, you may get it within 1 or 2 days. That depends on the place. If but don't try to learn even that book also. There is no time to learn from page 1 to page last. There is no time to learn like that. All you have to do is to finish the important areas from that. Just take a wholesome look, try to get a quick idea. That will be enough for prelims for the time being, for the because we have only 7 days, right? But if you can get a hard copy in 2 or 3 days, Amazon usually delivers it fast. Pareto's principle is something like this: focus on the most important 20% area, which will give 80% of results. That's what I discussed in this session as well. So don't focus on areas which will not give you immediate returns, but rather focus on areas which will give you a lot of returns in a short time. Okay. And don't devote your entire time next 1 week for one particular subject. Try to devote that for all subjects. Give equal weightage to all subjects. Devote one subject for, if suppose you have 8 hours a day, split that into 8 subjects. Like that you do and revise and practice mock exam. Particularly practice previous year mock exams. If you have any clear eyes mock exams unfinished, practice that. But along with that, revise all the exams already taken. Find out the mistakes happened in the mock exam. See how much questions you are attempting, why you are going wrong there, etc. You are thing. And advice one is practice maximum mock exams. Try to solve it in a take it as such. That's why we are not giving PDFs, because there are too many PDFs available in the market, and aspirants tend to read that PDFs. They don't practice. So if you're not practicing in a timed environment with negative marking, you will not know where you are going wrong. So try to practice as such. Spend 2 or 3 hours on the paper and practice exactly as a UPSC paper. If possible, devote time exactly like the UPSC timings, like 9:30 to 11:30 practice paper 1 and 2:30 to 4:30 practice paper 2. Then take the feedback, do the performance analysis. You will immediately get the performance analysis and rank list, right? Do online revision. Even if we are not giving PDF of the Clear Eyes test series, you can of course do online revision on Clear Eyes app and website, right? There is no need of PDF. You don't need PDF. You can revise the entire solutions online from the Clear Eyes account. So do that. And just does not mean that you practicing mock exams means that is enough. You have to practice mock exams which simulate the kind of questions asked in UPSC. So not every mock exams are similar. Okay. What I am stressing is one particular thing which I want to stress, that in many mock exams you see that the correct answer in those mock exams are option D 1, 2, 3, 4 or D 1, 2, 3. They tend to make all options correct so that the aspirants learn the questions easily, or some logic they have. Most of the tests, not Clear Eyes but other providers. But this will be very detrimental for you in actual UPSC prelims, because in actual UPSC prelims the chances for all options to be correct are very less. Very often we have seen that UPSC will make one option wrong. So if you practice the wrong kind of mock exams, your mentality will be also tuned in such a direction that you will mark when you see option like D 1, 2, 3, 4, you will tend to mark D 1, 2, 3, 4. But take a pause, try to find faults in UPSC question paper and think in that direction. For example, this question DPSP in asked in UPSC 2022. This is one question asked about the Gandhian principles in the DPSP. There is a high chance that everyone think that the answer is D 1, 2, 3, 4, saying that it's a DPSP. But the question is not which are the DPSPs, but the question is like which are the Gandhian DPSPs. The Gandhian DPSPs are not all, but just 2 and 3 only. So there will be some twist in the questions. So you make sure that your mind is completely focused, calm and composed, relaxed, to make sure that you are arriving at the correct question. The same case with National Biodiversity Authority question also. In this question as well, don't think that the correct answer is 1, 2, 3. The correct answer is actually 1 and 3 only. There will be high chance that one statement is wrong. There are cases when all options are correct also, but that is not the usual trend. Be extremely sure that when you, before marking option D 1 to 3, make sure that you read the question 2 or 3 times. And the next advice is that stop collecting too many study materials now, because we have Telegram, so many social media channels, too many websites are supplying free study materials. There is no dearth for study materials. So, but there is no point in collecting too many study materials. You don't need too many study materials. You need very focused study materials. The case, it's not related with quantity; it's only with quality and focused approach. Okay, so you don't stop collecting study materials from now. You will never read them. You don't need them also. So that is the third advice. And if I am asked the top 5 priority items before prelims, I will just list out 5 items. I always list only these 5 items. That is, one thing is Clear Eyes Prelims Test Series. You are all subscribers of Clear Eyes Prelims Test Series. The CCCs, Current Affairs Capsules, is the next. You can download it for free from Clear Eyes ebook store. Third is Clear Eyes Most Probable Prelims Questions, the green colored PDFs. This includes the daily questions we discuss via email or YouTube. This is also freely available for Clear Eyes Prelims Test Series users. You might already have got the discount code. You can download it for free. And Clear Eyes Previous Year Retake Questions is an option which is there on Clear Eyes Mock Exam platform. This is an additional feature which is extra to Clear Eyes Test Series. And last thing is Clear Eyes Study Materials, including books and ebooks. The online study materials are also completely free. Go through. We don't write on each and everything. We don't write on Hindu Gist or daily PAB Gist or newspaper analysis. We don't write those kind of things. We write only limited articles, but that will be extremely useful for you for prelims. Go through that and stay focused. Control your tendency to go behind each and everything. Seek right guidance. Write study materials, practice, and execute the strategy in the exam hall, and go through this code. Okay, I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. So that's what important. When I was myself an aspirant, the only test series which I took was Clear Eyes Test Series, because I started this initiative when I was myself an aspirant. So I never, because most of the technique and strategies I followed throughout the website is what I followed. I was not an exhaustive reader. I was a focused one, doing smart work, just like what you all people are now doing. So that was enough to clear prelims consecutively 5 times. So that can help. That is enough. Even now, that's enough. So be focused, okay? And practice previous year question papers in time and apply these techniques you learned in previous year question papers. And you can download Clear Eyes mobile app that is freely available. If you download the app, you can learn while you're traveling, things like that. You can take exams also from this. I will definitely show the slides by just finishing, so that you feel that the session is complete. Then we'll take up the slides and discuss on certain things as well. And as a conclusion, what I want to tell you is that the multiple choice examinations have more to do with eliminating the wrong answers than finding the right answers. As we have seen that, right? This may not instantly make sense, but consider this: there are 3 wrong answers and 1 right answer, but it's often easier to recognize 3 wrong answers. We have seen that, and recognizing the single right answer. There are unlimited ways an answer can be wrong. UPSC, normally we've seen that, making the numbers wrong, making the authorities wrong. There are many unlimited ways of making an answer wrong. You have to just disprove an answer to prove the correct answer, okay? And the conclusion, the warning I'm giving again, there is no guarantee that the elimination techniques will work all the time. It may not. IETs will not work on all questions. I have mentioned that it work only on 20-25 questions. For the rest of the questions, there is no substitute to real knowledge. You have to build your knowledge. These techniques have been useful to me, but that does not mean that they'll be useful to you. It may not be, may be useful to you, may not be. And Clear Eyes cannot accept any liability regarding your performance in UPSC CSC. But if you find the techniques useful, you can of course send me emails of gratitude. That I definitely will accept. That's okay. On a funnier side, I will accept that. Yes, believe that you can clear UPSC prelims. You can definitely, you can claim that. That is something which you have to believe in yourself. And that's the end of the webinar. It's a long webinar. Thank you for remaining patient till the end. Thank you from the end of myself and all the Clear Eyes team members. Thank you and all the best for UPSC prelims, mains, and interview. May you all clear UPSC this year and be IAS, IPS, and IFS officers. And now I will take up some sessions. And any feedback you can, along with what is mentioned in the chat, you can mention as email also, so that it may help reach other members as well. You can email me any feedbacks, positive, negative, we can do that. And tell me what I want to discuss from now. In chat, we will discuss CSAT. So many are asking about CSAT also. CSAT in the sense that, just be clear that you just need 66% marks in 66 marks out of 200. That means just 33% marks you need in CSAT. So 33% mark in the sense that there are 80 questions, there are only 80 questions in CSAT, 2.5 marks, and for each question, if you correctly answer 40 questions, there is high chance that you will clear prelims. 40 into 2.5 means 100 marks. Okay, so make sure that you correctly answer at least 40 questions. You can go wrong in 30 questions or something like that. There's no point, and you can leave 10 questions which you are not sure. But 40-45 questions should be your target to get correct in CSAT. So there are mainly 3 areas in CSAT. One is comprehension. The next thing is quantitative aptitude or maths, and the third is logical reasoning. Okay. You have to find one strong area among these 3. Like either make comprehension your strong area, or maths your strong area, or logical reasoning your strong area. Then if don't miss any questions in your strong area. The questions will be shuffled, but try to find all the easiest questions from your strong area. Okay. Then accordingly you proceed. If your comprehension is a strong area, first finish all comprehension questions. Then take up, if maths is your next strong area, then take all maths questions, then go for logical reasoning. Or if for most of us, normally logical reasoning questions are comparatively easy, because for some comprehension might be tough, for some maths might be tough. Logical reasoning is something which most aspirants find easy. But the main advice for CSAT is that don't be stuck in any question. If you find yourself stuck in any question, immediately leave that, because all question carries equal marks. There is no point in solving a very tough question. If any question is taking too much time, just leave out and try other question. That is for CSAT. For remaining other IETs, I am planning another webinar. I am not sure whether I can come up with within 1 or 2 days, but probably if I am coming it or not, that doesn't matter, because it's a competitive exam. So if I am coming it out, I will be first giving you aspirants, because you are subscribers of Clear Eyes test series. But if I am not giving also, that doesn't matter, because nobody else will be having that. But if I am coming that, probably that will be a paid course, because we are starting, because this platform, all these platform has fees, right? So we are giving too much materials as free, but we cannot go like that for long, because we have a lot of expenses to meet. This platform is something like, as I told, like this is a paid platform, and this has expenses. So if we are coming up with an IET course next, that will be of course a paid course. Probably if possible, we'll do a paid webinar within 1 or 2 days. Maybe, I'm not sure, I'm not committing that. But otherwise also we'll do a paid course after prelims. But that's not for you guys. You guys are supposed to clear this time itself. For the aspirants who will be writing next time, probably they will learn 40 IETs. For you guys, 20 IETs should be enough. But I won't give any others. Without giving you, I won't disclose these techniques to others. CA since June is applied. You should study that. CCC until August is uploaded on Clear Eyes website. You need to study at least until August. September CA CCC I am planning to upload in a few days time. If possible, look at that. At least study until August. Sorry, until August. So how to learn remaining IETs? Please comment remaining. You are all interested in remaining IETs, suppose. Are you interested if it is also a paid course? I would like to know your feedback. If it is a paid course also, you are willing to join that, or how is that? Exam hole tricks. Exam hole tricks we have discussed. The 3210E is an exam hole trick. Okay. The IET is also an exam hole trick. Do apply that. Okay. many are interested, I guess. Let me see if I can come up with that, because I have documented that to convert into a PDF, PPT format and things like this to make it a presentation in this format. This may take time, but if possible, I will, because many have commenting that you will be willing to for a paid course. Let me see. Even if it's a paid course, you are interested. So there's a good sign that many aspirants are interested. Let me see if I can do that. I'm not committing for this particular prelims. I'm not committing. Let me see. Any other questions? Because this room will automatically get expired in 9 minutes. I can take up any questions in between that. Anything? Hopefully, I am hoping that this session is useful. Please comment if it's useful. Did I go to? I probably in the second half I went a little fast so that I can finish all the slides to your benefit. I hope you were able to understand things. How to use Clear Eyes most probable prelims questions. Most probable prelims, so only 50 questions are discussed, are included per month in a CCC. Clear Eyes most probable prelims questions. There is 100 questions in one set that you can download using the Clear Eyes discount code. Show I20ITs. So some of them missed. Okay. Oh, you want to see the earlier slides, right? Okay. I will go back. Slides. Okay. I don't think there is a quick option. I have to manually go and go through each slide. Okay. Please ask the questions. What is the best number of attempts in CSAT? Best number of attempts is at least 60. At least 60 you attempt in CSAT. Okay. At least attempt 60 and make 40-45 correct in CSAT. Please revise slides. Okay. I'm trying to revise these slides. I'm stuck in between two options and not able to rule one. What should I do, sir? Go with what your mind says. If you are 50-50, definitely take a chance and go with what your mind says. Please show IET 7 slide. I'm because there is no option to quickly go to 7th slide in this particular platform. It's taking time. I'm moving to that. Can this be shared as a recorded version? Probably not. There is options for recorded versions, but I am trying not to keep a recorded version so that it won't get leaked to others. I want this to be in a closed loop like yours. So how about important ACTS book? I think you are the readers should give an opinion about important ACTS book. From my end, our team, me and my team has tried my best to come up with the 100 important ACTS in a single book. I feel that will be a really useful book for prelims and mains. If possible, get that. That will be definitely useful for prelims and mains. That will be an investment not just for prelims but for prelims, mains, and interview. If possible, take that. Anshul, thank for the feedback. Great to know that this session was helpful for you. Please touch upon the none option in some of the questions, just like all of the above. Okay. None option. If you see none in questions like some of these questions which we have seen none option, right? None can happen. None is there. Not the phrase like none of the above, but if you see a none option in a question, that can be an option. Okay. Important topics to revise in environment in the next 7 days. National parks, critically endangered animals, all those kind of the statistics kind of things like national park, biodiversity, biodiverse hotspots, those kind of things. I have written an article on Clear Eyes which tells out the 10 things which you need to revise before prelims. Go through that. That will help you find what to revise in the last 7 days. This is the 7 IET. Look for the middle value in case of numerical options. Middle value. This is the example. Hope it's clear. Who asked about 7? 7 IET. I think the 7th IET is clear now, right? Look for the middle option. Is there a chance to postpone the exam? I'm not sure. I'm thinking that it will happen on October 4, but it depends on the Supreme Court verdict tomorrow. probably it can happen to maybe I feel the center and the UPSC is strongly feeling that the exam should be conducted on October 4th itself, but it ultimately depends on the Supreme Court verdict. We can wait for that. 100 MCQs 2020 is good, informative and revision can. Great. Great to know that. Great to know that. And we will be winding up in 5 minutes. Anything? Thanks for thank you. Your feedback. Oh, so sorry, I was not able to accommodate any of you into these sessions. That is also possible in platform. I could have added any of you as your presenters here. But in 5 minutes, I don't think that will take too much time. May not be possible. Maybe next webinar, I can take some of you also in the platform so that you can also give your opinion directly on some questions or something like that on this session. This is something like a live room. You can also be part of the live room. That can with your face and video in it. But okay, please scroll till the first slide. I will do that. Thank you. I'm getting a lot of thank you messages. I'm happy to hear that. I hope this session is worthwhil. Very helpful, Sam. Thank you. In future also, if you need any personal help, you can email to ClearIS. You can email to contact us at clearis.com, or you can personally email at alex@clearis.com. I will try my best to reply you personally. IET slideshow. Thank you for the session. I'm just revising backwards. So this is also a brain exercise for you to revise from not from front to back, but back to front. I hope this will also make you intelligent. This is from where we started the IETs. Before that, it was the initial discussion on the statistics part, so that you will get an idea. Sir, can you give OMR sheet in mock papers as well? Will be a good practice. OMR sheet as well, because we are online, right? So we don't have facility for OMR sheet as such. This session brought positive structure. Thank you. Great to know that. Can you share this IET for at least subscribers? Let me think that as of now, we are thinking that this will be a closed session with only live thing, but recording is an option there. But let me think on that. Okay, we'll think that and let you know. Anyway, I hope you have all learned that there is no need for going through this again. By this time itself, most of you might have already got what you need. Don't waste time too much on going through that again and again. Online sheet only. Online sheet, I'll try to see if it's an online kind of the OMR sheet kind of format, if possible, will please show IET 20 to 20th trick again. 20 that may take some time to reach 2020. By that time, the session may be over. I will try. Okay, Vaninda, thank you. Can we have OMR attending? Online OMR waiting? Not OMR kind of thing is not there, but we have a different kind of thing. Any discount for next year prelims? Don't think of next year prelims, man. Think of this year prelims. We are definitely providing a discount for next year prelims. 20% discount is there, but don't think of next year now. Think of this year, 2020. Don't think of 2021. We can think of 2021 later. Now only focus on 2020. Just 1 minute remaining. Okay. Which one you wanted? 17, right? 9. Oh, we might not reach 17 in the slide now. We'll take it up later. Okay, 17 we may not reach. Okay, guys. I'm within 1 minute. I'm just winding up. Waiting for paid course YTs. Okay, announced. We shall get in touch in email. Okay. Thank you all, guys. Once again, for all of you, I'm thanking from bottom of heart. It was really nice to have a discussion with you. This was the first time we are coming in a platform like this. I'm very happy. It went well without much technical glitches. I'm very happy. All the best for you. Keep in touch. We'll meet again. Probably. But I'm thinking that even this course also we'll be giving. This is free course for you. But if we are giving to others, it will be charged. It will be charged course for if you are giving for others. Thank you all. Thank you. Take care. Take care of your health also. Be safe. Think positive. You all can do well. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you all. Bye. This will close soon. Bye.